Hello and welcome. We are live here from the Apex Racing esports studio for a little bit of a special day. It is our open day here. And well, we have got fun, prizes, but more importantly, we've got one of the best Sams in the world next to me. I'm Tim Cox, and it's not Samuel L. Jackson, it's not Sam Fender. It's the greatest Sam, arguably, in sim racing. Sam Fitzpatrick joins me. Sam, welcome along. What a day we've got here. I mean, we've had Adam Smalley's Porsche Cup car out the front. There's been pizza and coffee flying around in abundance, and a little sprinkling of sim racing, just to bring a bit of magic to the place.
It's been a very fun day. I hope everyone has enjoyed it. I'm sure a lot of people are watching downstairs at the moment, trying to watch what's going to go on out on track, see their rivals, see themselves even racing on this Alton Park circuit. It has been a fantastic day, Tim. It's fantastic to have all these different sim racing elements come together at this fantastic facility. And so we're going to be in store for a few hours of racing to decide who can come out on top in our driver tournament.
And there's a long route to it, isn't there? We've already done the heats. They're done and dusted pretty much. I think Heat 6 might be just finishing off now. And we're coming live at the nitty-gritty, towards the business end, quarter-finals time, Sam.
Yeah, and as everyone knows who's taken part so far today, but for people who maybe are just tuning into this broadcast, we started off with about 40 drivers, and we've had to whittle them down to just 32 drivers, and that will be the amount of drivers we have for our quarter-final lineup. And we're going to have 4 races of 8 drivers. That's the quarterfinals. Then it will be half, so the top 4 will go through. Then we'll have 2 semi-finals, and then we'll have 1 final. 8 drivers all duking it out for the overall victory. Of course, we've got our defending champion, Leo Garibaldi, around for today, and he was extremely strong last time, and he's looked pretty good so far. He's through into the quarterfinals, but he's going to be hard pushed to maintain that title.
Did so, Sam, by winning his heat as well. The first heat of the day, he's in it, and he wins it. That's a sign of a champion for me.
Yeah, Garibaldi very much had a target on his back. I said it to him right away when he turned up, but that didn't get to him whatsoever. He was absolutely on it immediately. And he's actually in our first quarterfinal as well. So being the first driver in the first heat, he gets put into the first quarterfinal, so he doesn't have to worry about waiting for other people to go. He can just drive it by himself. But honestly, one mistake, Tim, and that could be it. There's a lot of matches to get through, a lot of races to get through cleanly. That's going to be essential for the drivers. And so no one's guaranteed by any means a shot at going through to the final.
It's spot on there, Sam. It's spot on as always. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers will have spotted just over our shoulders here. Track and car combo, Sam. GT4s, choice of any of the 5 on the iRacing service, with Alton Park.
Yeah, pretty popular circuit, I think, since it's become a free track in iRacing. Visited a lot in various different series, and of course the drivers as well using Apex Racing Academy setups as well in order to have the best performance possible. It's fixed setup, so everyone's got the, an even playing field. I know a lot of drivers haven't been able to put in a whole lot of practice for this event, so that's given them a nice helping hand to get up there. And so yeah, it's pretty fun. We used the GT4s last year at Silverstone. Of course, you were commentating on that one, Tim, and from what I caught of the broadcast, it seemed like a lot of good action.
It was, Sam. It was, and I'm sure we're going to be served up more of the same dish here today. Now, Sam, talking of that track, we've got you've gone for the full layout, haven't you? But without Britain's chicane, so that without the first chicane down the back straight. Any reason for that choice that you've decided there?
It opens it up a bit, doesn't it? It's understandable that this circuit doesn't have many long straights when you have both chicanes. At least by taking away the first chicane, you kind of have that nice run coming onto the back straight. It's still narrow, still a very narrow circuit, very easy to cover off the inside. It'll be much trickier to overtake than many other circuits that we could have visited. It's going to make qualifying even more important. But it does just open it up a little bit. I think it makes it a little bit more fun as well. Also, that first chicane is lethal. I mean, you send it through fast as possible, and you just got to thread the needle. But the moment that you tap the tyre barrier, it just completely capitulates your car. So yeah, it's a lot easier, I think, this layout, a lot less risky.
The GT4s, any preference from yourself? One you fancy more on the other? Of course, we've got the Porsche, Mercedes, the Aston, the Audi. No, we don't have the. Sorry, I'm thinking wrong thing here. I'm thinking ACC. Ignore me. Thank you. Aston, McLaren. I'm missing one. What am I missing, Sam?
Aston, Mercedes. Lots of them. Basically, a lot of drivers have asked me the same question, Tim, so far today, and I haven't really been able to give them a good answer. I've heard that maybe the Mercedes, a lot of people have been going for the Mercedes so far today. Heard some pretty good news about the
good choice,
Aston
Sam.
as well.
Good choice.
So, yeah, could be a few different cars out there. BMW less popular, and I think the Porsche as well a little bit less popular. The McLaren also a little bit treacherous, I think, as well. Maybe good potential speed, but is a bit risky to go for as well. But like I said earlier on, you know, you've got the Apex Racing Academy set up, so these cars are tuned to
perfection.
The maximum.
The best setups on iRacing.
Exactly.
No less. BMW. That's what I was missing. The BMW M4. Saves myself there eventually, but there in the end. Yeah, interesting. You're saying about, you know, those cars. I've done a bit of a chin wag with iRacing World Rallycross champion John Robertson, part of the Apex Racing team, and he was saying that the Aston and the Mercedes very similar for those two. Very similar, and could be the ones to watch.
I mean, they have been the two most popular cars so far, so if they are similar, they're both extremely quick. So yeah, I think they're going to be very dangerous. But well, already the first of the quarterfinals, our qualifying session is just getting underway. So shall we have a look at?
I think we should, Sam.
What's going on?
I think we should. 10 minutes of qualifying. Wish to get their times in. However, as always, the Sam Fitzpatrick way, you know, minimal amount of laps. It's all or nothing. No messing around here whatsoever, folks.
Yeah, it's only 10 minutes of qualifying, and then 8 minutes of racing. And there you can see Leo Garibaldi out there. He's in rig number 1 as well, which is all where he became accustomed to. I think there was a little bit of a debate, I remember, last year between rig 1 and rig 2, a little bit of superstition. They're all fairly similar. I mean, there is a bit of a difference this year because 4 of the rigs have triple screens and 4 of the rigs have ultra wides, and I do know that some drivers have a preference of one over the other. Leo is on one of the ultra wides at the moment, and seeing that he's driven that so far tonight, I'm sure he'll be keen to maintain that for heats for his semi-final and final, should he make it through there. But yeah, we'll soon have an idea of what these qualifying laps are. It is a solo qualifying session as well, so not that the slipstream would be much of an advantage anyway, but it means that there's a little bit less risk as Woodford having a slight correction near the end of the lap, and that will be invalidated for him, and he will have to continue pushing on his next attempt.
Just have everyone watching at home, let us know in the chat who you know, if there's someone racing today, you know, keep in half an eye on what your thoughts are. Who do you think could come out on top here? I'd love to hear from you as always. But first flying laps going in, Sam, and turn 1 here is a little bit treacherous. You can take a lot of, plenty of, drift out wide onto that grass with those little concrete sections interspersed in it. There's plenty of grip out there, but it is nasty for the off tracks, and just, picking up, your time's being deleted because you've incurred them. They're so sneaky and easy to get there, yeah.
And in the races, that's not a problem because there's no instant limit. But for qualifying, as you say, it can be very frustrating because you are limited in what you can do, and it's not really all 4 wheels off the circuit often. It's sort of like a weird measurement. It's very harsh, particularly on the outside of turn 3, Cascades, of course. That's one of the most tricky corners. And you can see there the webcam. So we're watching Johnny Cullen at the moment just go through the Hislops chicane and into Knickerbrook as well. And you can see the crowd which is around these drivers, and urging them on, or maybe hoping that they crash out if they think that they're potentially a rival to someone else.
Yes, I'm sure there's definitely a bit of that going on, and people not showing their cards of which way round they're going on that one. There's another one drives, Frederick Wong, electing there a good choice in the Mercedes AMG GT4. See him dialed in and looking a little bit like, full focused here, but there's a lot of hand shuffling going on, but the car looking smooth out on track. Got some first lap times in, and it is Woodford That is the time to beat 2/10 faster than our reigning champion, Garibaldi, in second. And of course, let's talk about the start, Sam. Rolling start here. You know, should get away nice and orderly. And, you know, that initial, it's going to be about reactions, but not necessarily about, you know, getting the car control and away in that sort of manner.
Yeah, it's going to be... We've had some issues so far on the starts, I will say that. On turn 1, it's a real pinch point. And if you're going 3 wide in these GT4 cars into turn 1, it's usually not going to end too well. And that's what we found in the very first heat earlier on. Since then, the drivers have been a little bit more cautious. I think maybe seeing the treacherousness of the first part of the lap and have been a little bit more careful. But there you can see the top 4 drivers being highlighted in green. That is because the top 4 drivers from this race will go through into the semi-finals. With the heats, we were a little bit more kind, where it was sort of fastest losers also made it through. But for the semi-finals, it is just the top 4, and that's it. Everyone else, they don't have to go home. They could stay around and, you know, see the end of the open day. Maybe have a go on the rigs a little bit later on. But in terms of the tournament, that will be their daytime.
It will be ever so brutal. See on board right now with Aaron Herbert. Hoping to vote a bit of his namesake, former F1 driver, Johnny Herbert. Of course, no relation whatsoever. As Garibaldi just goes top there. Wow. 1,000th of a second, less than 1/10 exactly. But those two looking like the two to watch based on qualifying, you know. But, Sam, that's what makes it really, really exciting for me, because third downwards, ever so close between one another. There's hardly anything between them.
And of course, we've got an idea of a few of these different drivers. We've seen them in various Apex Racing TV series in the past. It's fantastic to meet so many drivers who we've come accustomed to, even chatted to, of course, when it comes to interviews in the past. But then, obviously, we don't usually see their faces. And now we can see them as a 3D person, like a living and breathing being. And it's very good to meet everyone in that capacity. Matthew Crisp is one of them, one of the drivers who I have plagued with mispronouncing his name. You may be thinking, Matthew Crisp, what a simple name to say. And yet I always say Martin Crisp, because there is another sim racer called Martin Crisp, and it has tormented me and tormented Matthew as well over the past few years. So I will be making particularly good effort to make sure that Crisp's name is not rendered wrongly tonight. So far, he's up in 4th place, so we'll see a bit more of him, because this is a good position for him to be in. What is this lap looking like? A couple of green sectors. It's not necessarily going to be improvement. He's pushing it on the track limits as well. At least his face not giving anything away as he crosses the line. Can he move up into the top 3? No, he can't, but just as he crossed the line, it was Blale who crossed the line, and he moved up to P4. So Crisp just outside these advancing places now.
And seeing Herbert progressing a really much stronger lap time on the board there to go 6th in qualifying. Sam, we're coming towards the end here. Going to be interested to see if we get a bit of a flourish late on, and if someone can suddenly leap up through the order board. If one goes faster there, moves up 1 position into 7th. Not moving up a row, however, just that 1 place. I'm going to give him the inside line. That could be crucial on that run down to turn 1. Of course, Archie Heron, who lies in 8th right now. Saw him in the Apex Wrestling Academy F4 series, no less. Sam run very well on that. Also know he's a karter as well in real life.
I'm surprised Archie is that low down. He is on the 2nd rig, which means that he was sort of the 2nd seed going into this race. I think he finished 2nd place in his heat, and yet he is a little bit further down there at the moment in 8th place. He's going to have a lot of work to do. He's still got time though, 2 minutes to go. The drivers have got to complete their lap times before the 10 minutes is up, however. And so a fair amount of pressure from Archie. I know he's got a few supporters, particularly amongst the Apex guys who have been helping us out man the rigs so far tonight. And so Archie very much not lacking support as he rounds the final proper corner of this race before we go uphill over the crest. And I would not be surprised if this puts him a fair few places further up. Here comes Archie Heron, and it does put him up to 3rd position. That's much more like it. That was the time that we were waiting for the car number 4 to produce, and he has performed as Herbert just moves up ahead of Crisp. What a miserable couple of minutes for Crisp. He was 4th just a few laps ago, but he's down to 7th now.
And that's looking like Archie Heron done and dusted. Well, probably wouldn't have squeezed another lap in. Would have been very, very tight for him. Wow. Can he be beaten? Of course, you mentioned that only 0.04 of a second behind Woodford and being on that provisional front row. Can someone else disrupt it? And seeing Crisp there, well, that's... No, he's okay. No, I thought he was much further down the track and cut out the chicane. No, that's jobs are good, and he's heading down towards Hislop. Hard onto the brake there. This Wood McLaren's going to come into its own. That transition, Sam, that of weight and that turn-in that works really, really well on this car. Normally tends to burn through its tyres. However, you know, these short sprint races, that's not going to be an issue for our drivers.
No, yeah, it should be fairly simple. 8 minutes. And you know me, Tim. If Le Mans 24 hours could be Le Mans 8 minutes, I would make it just 2-lap sprint and we can all go home. And I think this is definitely the best way to do it. And so tyre wear, not a thing at all. And it's quite a cool circuit as well. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning in Sim. And so lots of grip for the drivers. They don't have to worry about overheating. Can Crisp get up there? Yes, he can. He's back up to 4th place. Some good improvements towards the end of that session. Everyone was really getting faster. And of course, they've had a bit of a break as well. Some of these drivers last drove in the rig about 4 hours ago. And so they're sort of getting back up to used to it. And before their heat race, they have never driven these heats before, most of the drivers. And so it is a big challenge for them. And so no surprise that they're getting faster as the session goes on, as qualifying is complete. And we're just gridding up for the first quarter final. And it's Leo Gariboli on pole position. Quarter of a second clear of Ross Woodford. Then it's Archie Heron and Matthew Crisp. That is the current top 4. That 4th place is highly coveted. Johnny Cullen lines up in 5th. Then it's Jonas Blale and Aaron Herbert. Frederick Wong rounds out the top 8 drivers. And the entire field, being just 8 drivers, decent chance that we could still have a bit of an upset here if there is a collision ahead, like we saw in the first heat this morning, where 3 drivers were taken out on the first corner.
Those fans of patterns will have noticed that. We've got, on those front 2 rows, Astons on the right-hand side of the grid, and then we've got 2 McLarens on the left side. We've then got 2 Porsches, and the low Mercedes is bringing up the rear.
It sort of ruins the last row.
The aesthetics. It could have been another Porsche, however. Of course, Apex Racing Team. You know, we're fans of Mercedes.
Yeah, good brand.
It's you know, if you want to win any favours, drive the Mercedes.
Yeah, we might give you some price. Here comes the start then. The pace car comes in pretty late, much of a margin. We're going to see how this first qualifying is going to go.
Let's get ready to go racing for the first time today, as we are green and we are racing down to turn 1. Here we go. And while it's the Astons looking to take that advantage, Gariboli and Heron, after struggling early on in qualifying and just muscling Ross Woodford out wide there, and they're going to scamper down the road. And wow, that's the first change of positions. We head through Cascades for the first time, Sam.
Oh, a slowdown. Is that a slowdown?
That is a slowdown.
And that is going to really cost Ross Woodford there. He's right to the back of the order. What a challenge he's got now. And I don't know quite how he would have got that slowdown, honestly. Did he cut turn 1 a bit too much, perhaps?
I'm wondering, Sam, if where he got pushed out wide by Heron, and maybe just that's what's incurred it here, as Gariboli and Heron just head off into the distance, already 1 second clear of Crisp in 3rd. Cullen lying in that last place that gets you through to the next round, but it's stacked up behind him. That battle for 4th is so tight, Sam. Everyone is nipped and tucked, nose to tail through there. And I get this nasty feeling that this top 3 are going to head off into the distance, and it is going to be one epic battle for that last transfer spot.
It feels like it's going to go that way. Now we're going to find out what the surname was. I wasn't quite sure. Okay, no, he was on the outside, wasn't he? I wasn't quite sure which way around it went. And yeah, I guess just going that far wide does pick yourself up a slowdown. I wasn't quite aware of that one. Of course, it's a 1x very easily out there. That wouldn't be an issue, but the slowdown. And Woodford's back to the pits as well. Oh no!
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's a big shame.
Oh.
And I can't
Is that
hear
damage on the front
shouting
right?
behind him, but behind or below us. But yeah, I wouldn't blame Ross if he was a bit angry. Maybe some damage. Maybe there was a bit of suspension damage from that incident.
I'm sure there was looked like a bit of damage to the front right. Could be my eyes deceiving me, Sam. Could be. Don't quite know. But those top two heading off in the distance, as we mentioned, Garibaldi and Heron looking pretty secure. Those two are 1.5 seconds clear of Crisp, who's just starting to just drop down a little bit right now, Sam. 8-7 tenths ahead of Cullen as, oh, here we go on board. And, oh, there you go, Sam. That's what's caused it.
So easy to do. Really, really easy to do. Like, once you realise that you're going to hit the wall, I guess you just got to like, plant the dots and try to understeer. Blale now out. Well, he was having a decent race, I think it was Jonas. I think he was up to P5. And he's now done 7, so that's a quarter of our grid diminished. On Wong's not too far away now, but Wong's had his own issues. So I wonder if Blale and Wong have come together perhaps because Wong's had an awful lap. And it's very much just 5 now who are soldiering on. And, well, Crisp isn't getting away from Cullen. And so really anyone 3rd down to 5th could still make it through into the semi-final.
So here is what happened to Frederick Wong, Sam, as we head down towards Cascades now. Is he going to lose? Oh, just loses the rear. Around he goes. So that's why he's lost all that time. What's happened to Jonas? It's got to be self-induced, surely. I mean, to be in the pits, he's got to have made contact maybe with the tower barriers, potentially. Just getting a little bit skatey there was the McLaren of Chris coming out of turn 1. A little bit loose on the accelerator, full application. So we look back from Chris, that is Herbert, so Cullinan behind us. And then Herbert, just see in the distance. So this is what happened to Jonas Blale, Sam.
Oh, he's gone a bit too wide and dipped onto the grass as
Crisp
has
is
lost it. And, well, he was momentarily in the lead there because he cut the circuit so much. Matthew Crisp, well, that's put Herbert into 4th position now. Wong is only 1 place away. And, well, it's a little bit of an anticlimax, honestly, because with 4 minutes to go, all the top 4 needs to do is just keep it onto the circuit. And if it wasn't clear enough how difficult this Alton Park circuit was before, we've certainly had an exhibition of it so far tonight.
So, but it is just a little bit of an anticlimb. It's not too much to be fair. However, as we've seen, do these top 2? I mean, Heron is pushing Garibaldi right now, or that's how at least it appears to be. I mean, these two just need to calm down a bit. Just think of the percentage games. Of course, you know, there's qualifying for each of the later heats, isn't there, Sam? So.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where you finish. It's all about just getting that top 4, get yourself through, and then you qualify in the next round. So just keep it safe. However, Sam, it's all about that, you know, that kudos.
I think
keeping that winning streak alive, that momentum going.
I think that is unimportant, honestly. If Heron is thinking that right now, he is. That's not the right thing to think. I think, look at that man. He is just settled. He's thinking 2nd place. That's all I need. That's all I need. I'm just going to follow Leo. One could argue you don't want to show your cards either. I think pretty much either way, the best judge will win in the final, no matter what happens in these races, as long as you do get through. And so Archie just needs to stay there. And I think that's what he's going to do. And well done to him, because, of course, in his qualifying, it was going a bit awfully for him for a while. He was last about 7 minutes into qualifying. Then he managed to form a very good lap, got up to 3rd. A strong start, and he has not looked back. And he, yeah, I don't think he's going to make any moves towards the end of this race.
No, just, you know, old head on young shoulders there, just playing it cool, calm, collected. Knows he's done enough, but they're well clear of Cullen, who's in 3rd. And that gap has just grown and grown and grown, Sam. These top 2, they've been lapping, on average, you know, a good 2nd a lap faster compared to Cullen. That's a big margin. And, yeah, it's debatable as to whether, is it drivability? Is it the car that you've chosen? That's what's playing a part here? Now, of course, one of the things that we do have as well, Sam, is of course dynamic weather. Obviously, you know, although we don't have truly dynamic weather in the sense of rain, that is still coming to iRacing. But those track conditions are going to be different for each of the rounds going forward.
It's going to be a little bit different, yeah. Just to ensure that the average lap times were maintained for the heats, so that no one had an advantage when it came to the average lap times. We made sure that it was all static for that. But yeah, for these remaining races, they're dynamic, and I think it's like cold out there at the moment. According to our live time,
It's the UK, Sam. It's got to be cold.
18.33C. It was getting a bit warmer though. I was really disappointed when summer seemingly ended about 5 days ago. And it's coming back though, people. In 2 days' time, it's when it gets back to 26 degrees. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it ended a lot longer than 5 days ago, Sam.
It never really got started.
A couple of days in June, and that was as good as it was.
Exactly. Yes. Hopefully everyone else is having much more interesting conversations downstairs in the sim area,
sure they are.
because well, we're not too far away. We're 20 seconds away. I think this is going to be the last lap for Leo Gariboli, and he wouldn't really care, honestly, if it was an extra lap or not, because he looks so comfortable out there. No, he's not going to be overtaken, and it's going to be a comfortable race win for him, which will send him straight through to the semi-finals.
We'll be chatting to Leo very shortly. You can see him on camera, cap on, cool, calm, collected. You cannot hardly see his eyes there. So it's just, you know, focusing everyone out. But Sam, those two McLaren started second and fourth. They're both out in the form of Chris and Woodford. However, fans of Pattons, 2 Astons and 2 Porsches are through to the next round, Sam. In the phone of Leo Gabrioli, Archie Heron, Johnny Cullen and Aaron Herbert. They are the first of our semi-finalists.
Yes, very good work from them to be able to consolidate that one. And yeah, like you said before, we might be able to have a chat with Leo and discuss sorts of what his race was like. And of course, then we'll have our second semi-final as well. Just a little bit of a taster. The second semi-final, or the second quarter-final, apologies. We are going to have, I might just need to change I've just realised that I need to change a different sheet. But we've got a pretty competitive field, because we've basically got the race winner from the second heat, Tim, up there. And then generally it should sort of filter down. Yeah, I think there you go. You can see Alex Simpson's. Apologies that we're still on screen, yeah. But Alex is currently just organising those interviews. But yeah, it was a very mature drive from Leo, and dare I say, he's still the favourite.
Well, let's hope he can hear us. Leo, can you hear us all the way downstairs?
Hello?
I think. Oh, there we go. We've got it. Well, I mean, 2 races, 2 wins. Pretty much smashing it today, mate.
Yeah, qualifying went pretty well. I was, what, like 3/10? I mean, it was hard in the race. Quite easy to follow with this, so it's hard to... But the qualifying was... So I lost a 10. Otherwise.
Well, definitely positive all round. I mean, keeping that momentum going forward. Really looking forward to, you know, seeing how you're going to get on in the semi-final. You fancying chances of keeping this winning streak going?
I mean, I just need to do the same start I did. The problem is, last race I got a greater start because I went a little bit too late. I went a little bit early this time, and I seem to get a better... As long as you can stick in front, that's a bit...
Well, congratulations, Leo. I know the next person's got to hop into the race. It's that thick and fast. That is your race winner, Leo Gariboli. Sam.
Yeah, really strong stuff from him. He would have known what was needed, and still to put it on pole position in a competitive field like that first quarterfinal is a very good effort from him. But yeah, there'll just be a bit of a change around now where everyone changes rigs, and so taking his rig will be Will Dames, who was our race winner from Heat 2. I don't know if you've had a chat.
I've had a little bit of a chat with him earlier on, of course, from ARL GT Trophy, no less, which we broadcast live here from the studios.
Yeah.
For Race Anywhere. I mean, him, Schwartz, and there's a third driver who escapes me that you're looking at me with the grimace. I'm feeling that on the inside.
No, yeah, I can't remember. Schwartz?
Yes.
We've got 7 minutes, by the way, guys. So we can think about this
we can pad this one out.
Don't stress us
I'm going to. Well, I think of that one. We'll touch the chat.
But anyway, Will is a very accomplished driver, like you were saying. Then we've also got Jake Shuri, who's also another ARL driver in LMP2s. We've got Dinuk Rodrigo, who's one of our. Well done, Paul Lang.
Paul Lang. There we go. Got there in the end.
Dinuk Rodrigo is going to be in Rig 3. Dinuk, one of our youngest drivers in the series, but is very competitive as well. Took part last season and I think nearly got to the final. Khalid Ramadan as well in Rig 4. Nigel Jobling and Dan Fraser, Joe Harker and Bart Gadd as well, taking part in this quarter-final 2. And once again, we'll have another 10 minutes qualifying session and an 8-minute race.
Just having a little look across the chat, Sam, and a bit of one for viewers at home. So one of the prizes up for grabs is from our most memorable moment from today in terms of the racing.
Okay.
I mean, one of the most memorable moments has got to be surely me and you sat here at the desk. Anyway, because we can't win prizes because we are employees, got to go to some of the races.
Yeah.
So, in chat, let us know if you spot a moment, what you really want, and what you think should be worthy of that one of those prizes. I wish we've got an absolute array. We've got Elgato Stream Decks. We've got Corsair mice and keyboards. We've got, of course, VRS pedals as well, and wheels as well, and
yeah. I recommend everyone keep tuned in because we've got a little raffle thing as well.
We love a raffle,
and pretty much anyone who's turned up today has got an opportunity to win some pedals, some VRS Direct Force Pro sim racing pedals, which are obviously used by the Apex Racing team drivers for the ESL R1 competition.
All the drivers in ESL R1 use them.
All the drivers, yeah, of course. It's mandatory when it comes to the LAN events that they use the VRS equipment. But also, of course, they're just pretty much the best pedals that you can get when it comes to the esports aspect of sim racing. And so, yeah, they'll be very lucky whoever wins them. I think it was Leo who got first pick last year.
He did,
I think he decided to take that. If he wins this year, he'll have the wheelbase and the wheel rim, because that's whoever wins the overall tournament, they get the wheelbase and the wheel rim. So he might have a very nice setup by the end of the year. Apparently, he's already bought, in fact, the wheelbase and the wheel rim. So,
well, a sensible choice, Sam.
Yeah,
why go anywhere else?
Choice. Yeah. But he'll be absolutely floating in the VRS equipment by the end of the day, potentially. And
talking of the raffle, Sam, I can confirm for you viewers, and everyone sat downstairs as well, that for the meticulous and high-tech way of typing them into a Word document, printing it off, and cutting them up with scissors, everyone's name is in that bowl for definite. There'll be...
doesn't look like very names.
It doesn't look too exciting,
all the names
but it is all there.
Yeah,
Good news for you. Let's have a little cross into the chat. SC Swash. Sean Crowley Swash, I know that's your name from many a time. I've heard several UKSR Discord members are racing today. Good luck to them. Who else? We've got Andy Dawson, no less, of Effect Simulations, who we saw here in the Apex Racing Endurance Series. So the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Series, to give it by its full and proper name. Winner of the Stormforce Spotlight as well. At Le Mans for that lovely little move around the outside of Indianapolis.
Yeah, they were extremely strong on that occasion. Still the last Stormforce Spotlight to be decided. Do keep an eye on the Apex Racing League social media platforms on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook for more information on that. But yeah, pretty cool to have these people discussing at the moment. I know Andy was very enthusiastic about the championship by the end. So James Bell tuning in, and Isaac Phelps, and also Vamo Speedy. So thanks to everyone for watching.
Vamo Speedy's got a nice array there. GL Khaled, Dan, Roxanne, and Matty. So he's
I'm not sure how many of those people are still in the event, honestly, but hopefully a fair few. No,
but you know, we've got a fair few drivers left to go. We're not too far away from qualifying. They've got a couple of minutes. And Sam, I was asking, with a few people earlier on, what was their favourite track? What's yours?
What's my favourite track?
What's your
we
favourite
all know
track,
what
Sam?
this answer is. It's Suzuka. It is objectively the best circuit in the world. And do let us know on the YouTube chat as well what your favourite circuit in the world is. Yeah, it is Suzuka because it's, of course, just you can't improve on it, can you? It's got elevation, it's got the perfect blend of high-speed corners, technical corners, overtaking spots. It's got the history, it's got the scenery, it's a nice track width. It's got, you know, fantastic fans as well whenever events are held over there. It's got the weather elements of it as well. And so it's just perfect. But what did
you've missed off one? You've missed off a key point there. It's a figure of 8.
It's a figure of 8, which is just cool.
It is.
It's just really cool.
Scalextric vibes going on.
So when you asked Will Dames that earlier on when you had a chat, what did he say? Or did you not ask that question to him?
I didn't ask him at that point.
Okay.
But I was actually one of the guys from Stormforce who are here today, and Kailami is what they you know, you can tell which sim that they race on, ACC.
Yeah.
But an alternative choice, but a good one no less.
I've never driven Kailami.
Oh,
I know
Sam,
the
you
layout
are
fairly
missing
well,
a treat, Sam.
But there's a lot of people who want Kailami in Formula 1, isn't there? And it's one of the most requested
Sam,
tracks
I need
on.
to cut across you because Andy Dawson, oh, I love you, Andy. Otherwise known as Sucksuka in my vocab.
I mean, I think
That's
that's just uncalled for, isn't it?
Wow, that's all the bad things you've said about Daytona and 24-hour racing, Sam.
8 minutes of Suzuka is pretty much the height of motorsport, honestly. I don't think we really need to move on from that. That'll be the end point eventually.
It is now officially
2050.
Sucksuka.
Yeah.
Well, that's our
I mean, you can't argue against that. I mean, there's a few arguments that I could argue against, but not that one. That is absolutely unflappable.
One argument you can't argue against, Sam, for definite. Qualifying is now underway for the second of our quarter-finals. Who's going to come out on top? Well, here are the runners and riders. We've got Joe Harker in the McLaren, Nigel Jobling in the Mercedes. We've got Gad in the Mercedes. We've got Rodrigo in the McLaren. Sorry, in the Aston, apologies. Jake Shuri in the McLaren. Khalid Ramadan in the Aston. We've got Will Dames in the McLaren and Dan Fraser in the Mercedes. No Porsches gracing us in their presence in the second of the quarterfinals, Sam. Good mix there. 2 Astons, 3 Mercs, 3 McLarens.
It's good, actually. We were sort of a little bit concerned that everyone would just go for the same car, but everyone's mixing it up.
Nobody gone BMW yet.
I think there was only one BMW in the heats, honestly. I don't think they made it
One
through
madman.
to the quarterfinals. I'm certainly sure that there's a few drivers who could get that BMW across. I mean, it's not far worse than the other cars, but it's still maybe just lacking that little bit, or maybe isn't quite as driven as often as some of these other cars. By the way, the track temperature is now down to 17.78 degrees Celsius. I didn't even realize it could get that cold, honestly. And so it is very cold, very grippy for the drivers at the start of this qualifying session.
It is. It is. It's definitely chilly out there. There's no Jobling.
It might be nice and
Mercedes
chilly
drivers?
downstairs as well, to be honest, because we've got the very nice air conditioning. And with so many people bustling about, I think we may need to turn it on and cool the
Oh, it's
drivers
already
down.
on, Sam. It's been
already
on all day.
Oh, okay. I haven't even noticed, but yeah, nice.
Oh, you're sat by the doors, weren't you, earlier on?
Exactly, yeah.
Greeting everyone coming along.
Greeting everyone, people turning away, thinking, I don't want any of this guy. That only happened 4 or 5 times.
Okay, well, it's a good job I wasn't on the front desk. It would have been a much higher
It'd be empty
ratio.
right now, wouldn't it?
Liam Slipdiffs in the chat saying, I've heard Nick Horn is going to win this. Is that a rumour you've heard on the street, Sam?
No.
I've not heard that one.
I think he...
Does
where
Liam
did
know
Nick
something we don't know?
finish in, because we've got all the heat results as well. I don't think Nick was in the top 4, was he? Or maybe he was.
I mean, maybe some sort of alternate universe, you know.
Okay, Nick. I can't even see Nick in the list, honestly. But maybe I'm looking in the wrong
I
place.
mean,
but
maybe just ghosting his way through and, you know, some alternate universe.
5th position, sorry. He finished in 5th position, but he was one of the fastest drivers who didn't get through into the top 4. So his race time was very strong, was Nick. So yeah, he is through, yeah. So he could be dangerous.
Sam.
He's not in this race.
Well, you've got the list up. Isaac Phelps at home saying, is Zane Khan still racing, Sam?
Is Zane, how did Zane do? As I think the first few
Quarterfinal
times
four,
have
I'm
been
hearing
put
my
through.
ears, Sam.
Yeah, quarterfinal 4, so he will actually be with Nick for that one. So those two YouTube users keep in store for 5:55, which will be the time of quarterfinal 4. This one will be going on for a while. We've got the final will be starting, I think, at 7:30 later on. Yeah, you're going to have to be tuned in for a while to see how the order gets shuffled down. No one is safe. You could just get a little bit of a tap from another driver, make a small mistake on this Ultrapark circuit, and you won't get into the final. It's a bit like the World Cup knockout stages, I think, Tim, where, you know, you've got a favourite team, but that team can still be dragged out to penalties and then gets a bit convoluted. I think Croatia and Brazil, maybe in the last World Cup, a little bit like that. There's a lot of, you know, sticky points for you to traverse over in order to get to the final stage.
There's, talking of sticky points, Rodrigo, Ramadan and Dames all having their first lap times deleted. Nothing on the board for them. There is Dames. Okay, maybe a little bit higher for him. You just still get a good shot of that lovely face of all Dames.
It's such an odd steering wheel, like this McLaren MP.
It's like an inverted flat bottom steering wheel.
It's so basic, and then you've got the GT3 wheel that they've been using for like over a decade, and it's super complex, and it's like really accurate, loads of different buttons, and then this GT4 thing is just absolutely stripped back. Quite a large wheel as well. But it has not helped him so far. It's another invalidated time for Will. And the heart rate might just be increasing a little bit now. He's still got plenty of time to go. And of course, Archie Heron was able to produce a very strong time late on in the session, wasn't he? After not putting in some strong times earlier on. So, yeah, Will needs to ensure that he at least gets this next one in, because last position on the grid would be disastrous. So if he can just put a decent lap in, I think he will be good enough for the front row of the grid, unless the other drivers are able to make sizable improvements. Here is Dan Fraser. He is not a man who's going to be making a sizable improvement on this tour round, but he will be looking to improve a little bit on the next.
Will be. So as things stand, as drivers completing their second laps, Jury going to be on provisional pole night now. Oh, I was just to say, well, it's all coming in, changing Sam now, as the Aston with Rodrigo goes into second. Gad, who was second, drops to third, and Jobling, who was all the way up in second, is now down to fourth. Mercedes second row, though, Sam Fitzpatrick. Still yet to set a time. It's Paul Dames. Last the first challenge, maybe? Maybe?
This is not the time to try that.
It's risking it for a biscuit.
I don't think there's any biscuit at stake unless someone has organised their own private biscuit competition. Will not be receiving any biscuits, even if he does achieve that. But he's about to cross the line again, is Will. So watch out for the timing tower to change once again. Also, Jobling could well be improving this time round. Will, I think he's got another invalidated lap time. What is going on, Will? You need to get a clean lap in, man. Otherwise, you could be in trouble. We've got this lap, and then I think one more, and that will be it for him. Of course, the drivers have got a fixed setup, and even in qualifying, they've got a race setup still. As he's shaking his head a little bit there as well. Not necessarily the most positive. He certainly wasn't picking up a 1x through turn 3, but maybe just a little bit frustrated with his line through there, as Jake Shuri has gone back to the pits. I think that might be the end of his qualifying session.
Could be, Sam. Could be. And thank you for everyone who's subscribed this week. You've gone along. I just have a quick look across the chat. ITHR SimSport. Why am I friends with you people? Because sim racing. That's why. That's why. Chris Edford, let's go UKSR. So sad I cannot be with you next time. Good to see it from Chris. But started off my commentary here with the UKSR, the GT3 League, which is season 1. I think they're now on season 7. How time flies when you're having fun sim racing. Still no time on the board for Will Dames. Just rounding out the lap here through Druids. Needs something on the board because that clock is ticking down fast. After he completes this lap, he's going to get one more, and I think.
Yeah, that'll be it. Well, I mean, won't even get that last lap in particularly comfortably. for what we saw, he wasn't off the track in turn 3 through the Cascades. It was only turn 1 where maybe he could have been off the track. There we go.
There you
There
go.
we go. And
Look at that face. There was a smile there for a brief second. Then whoops. Oh, he's got it off track, I'm guessing.
Okay, well, that might be good enough. You only need 1 out of 4, and it looks like that's what he's done. So he's ahead of Shuri, he's ahead of Rodrigo. Those 3 fairly far clear of Gad, jobbling back to the pits. Ramadan and Fraser not really improving too much as this session has gone on. Fraser put that time in quite early and hasn't been able to improve on its sync, but this is a few green sectors. This might be enough for Fraser to get at least closer. Not sure if it will get him up a place. Yeah, it does get him closer, but it remains 1.3 seconds off. So he's going to need a bit of a favour, I reckon, in order to get into the top 4. And it will just be Gad, I think. Gad and Rodrigo might just reach the line. Gad is going to approach the line. He improves, but not enough. Can Rodrigo cross the line in time? And yeah, I think Rodrigo, no, that's going to be it for him. It was an improvement for Rodrigo, but it was not enough to get him onto the front row.
Close, but no cigar. So close, but no cigar. See the chat. So next year, will the Apex be at the Arena Birmingham or Excel London? Hey, Sam, it's growing in stature.
It's growing in stature.
You never quite know.
The customer area today has been full, pretty much. I don't think we could fit many more people in. And whenever someone's on a rig, everyone gravitates around it. 1, because they want to see each other drive, and 2, because they want to get on the rig after this next person gets off. So it's been very cool, and it's been very cool to see everyone so enthusiastic about the Sim Centre. Of course, you know, whilst we've got our open day today, you can visit whenever, go to apexracingsim.com, and you can book out a slot, whether that be 15 minutes or half an hour, or, you know, you could even book it out for the day, maybe make it a corporate event, and for a team building exercise or just some fun with your mates. And yeah, you can use the VRS simulators, all 8 of them, for whatever you want. So yeah, do visit apexracingsim.com in order to make that booking. Or
even come here for one of our leagues. We've had that in the past. Or race from the Sim Centre, won the many iRacing special events. But let's take you through grid quickly. Will James, 1 and done. On to pole, no messing. Displacing Jake Shuri, who'd held on to that front row for so long. And all McLaren front row here at Alton Park in race 2. Rodrigo and Gad make up row 2, Aston and Mercedes respectively. Then there's another Mercedes and Aston row in the form of Jobling and Ramadan. Then Fraser and Harker make up that 4th and final row of the grid. Sam, here we go. Mark Fletcher, come on, altitude.
You've seen a few altitude shirts.
Yes.
So
I saw an Alcantech one earlier on.
Yep. I didn't see an Alcantech one. Do you know who was wearing that?
I can't
because
remember
Alcantech, of course, is like a Scandinavian team, isn't it? Or a Nordic team. So I'm not familiar with any of them, but no, cool that they've got British drivers as well. Simon B, Dan Fraser, win or kick. Glyn BT, Nick Horn for the win. Honestly, the enthusiasm for Nick Horn, I'm loving it, but honestly, you gotta wait. He's not in this race, he's not in the next race. We will...
Just calm down. All good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of pressure now being built on Nick.
Don't
I hope he does
soon.
well. I hope Nick does well. I think he's certainly got the potential to get through. He was going to get through in this race. It's going to be Dames and Shuri on the front row. The good top 4 make their way into the semi-finals.
Got to be your favourites. 2 strong names on the front row, both in McLarens. So let's get ready to go racing for the second of our quarter-finals. Will Dames does not hang around whatsoever, and off he goes into a half-second lead as we head down into turn 1 for the first time. Shuri just under a bit of pressure there from the Aston of Rodrigo. Jobling just dropping away a little bit. The first of those 3 Mercedes. Dan Fraser up 2 places already, Sam.
That's what he needed. Poor start for Gad, however, he's down 2 places as there's very near contact between Gad and Ramadan as well. There's a little bit wide for, was that Jobling, I think. And Fraser's going to be up 3 places. What a start for the car number 6. And he sides his way through, just now to cover off the inside for the next right-hander. There's going to be a bit of contact between the 2 of them. There's contact in the background as well. Siding his way through is Ramadan past Gad. It's an awful start for Bart Gad. He's down from 4th to 7th.
5 cars, Sam. All over 4th place. the last of the transfer spots. How's this one going to play out? Wow, they're already bang doors. They've already shut the door firmly in each other's faces. And we haven't even completed the first lap yet. There's only 1 minute complete out of the 8 here from Alton Park in quarterfinal 2. And you can see the jostling there up the hill side by side. This is not where you want to be going side by side through Druids. You're going to lose yourself a lot of time. You could even come from attackers. There's almost contact. They both run wide. They switch back on one another, and Jobling is into the lead of this group. However, look at what's happening behind them. Fraser left floundering a little bit, but trying to get past through. But it's all about the Aston of Ramadan, who's had absolutely everyone. And those 3 Mercs, well, left fighting with one another, but all losing out as here comes Harker in that McLaren.
All out from Ramadan. I mean, he dropped 1 place immediately and then has gone back through all of them, plus a couple. He's up into the top 4, and that is so much better than what it was looking like it might be for him. Gad now down 4 places, and Fraser, despite that good start, couldn't hold on to P4 for very long. Be the end of that one, I'm sure. The numbers, by the way, that you can see there, it's sort of their seedings going into this race. So James, for example, won his heat. Shuri was 2nd place in his heat. I think Rodrigo was 3rd in his heat. And so, and Gad, I think, was one of the last drivers to qualify. So at the moment, the top 4 drivers who we thought would go through are currently going through.
So it's on board with Ramadan, and well, look at that fight in front of us, Sam, and we're going to watch him just understeer out wide, but there's the switchback to get the move done. Textbook.
This was nice, and then just the line being opened up, and once you're in this position, just being willing to break that a little bit deeper. Easy managed to get stopped. A bit of a nice grip actually on the inside of the circuit as well compared to the outside, just the way that the camber works on that corner, and nestled his car up to 4th position, and he's 7/10 of a second clear. Fraser and Jobling need to work together now at this point in order to keep touch with the qualifying spots.
Aston is looking really, really strong. The hands of Khalid Ramadan right now. 1-2 spots from the start, up it from 6th to 4th. Fraser hot on his heels though in that Merc. And just starting to just disperse a little bit. Harker and Gad just falling down. Shame really for Gad. I mean, strong qualifying, as you said, Sam. Just hasn't quite worked out under racing conditions. Oh, that's a big, big chunk of understeer there for Fraser. And as you say, Sam, it's not helping him because him and Jobling need to work together to catch up with Ramadan. But it comes to a point where Jobling needs to ask the question, is Fraser holding me up here?
Yeah, it's such a short race, and it's all getting a little bit panicky at this point. You're looking ahead and you're thinking, all right, the chance of me getting through now are looking pretty slim. Gad has got ahead of Harker, at least for 7th position. He'll try to keep these guys honest. But this is a tough choice now for what Nigel is going to do. And there's no opportunity at the end of the back straight. They are closing in a bit on Ramadan, but closing and passing are such different things here at Alton Park. Here might be an opportunity though. I think Jobling's going to go for it if he's got half an opportunity, and these guys were alongside heading into Druid's corner earlier on, and they're going to be alongside again, barely keeping it on the tarmac, and managing to get through there is Jobling. He's got 1 clear, and he's now got 9/10 of a second to catch up to Ramadan to get into the top 4.
So okay, Sam, time is a little bit on the side here. Probably got a couple of laps in which to get this done. Going to be tight though, and needs compliance from everyone behind him to get after Ramadan, otherwise he's going to sail off into the distance, and he already pretty much is there. Healthy gap right now of 1.2 seconds. The Aston driver doing what he needs to do at this stage of the race. Oh, Sam, I'm feeling a little bit nervous right now. In fact, actually, I think that Ramadan's made a mistake. He's dropped about 3 or 4 attempts down through Cascades. Maybe just struggling a little bit at this stage of the race. Maybe the pressure just getting to him. Knows he's sat in the last of those transfer spots. And, well, there you go, Sam. From 1.4 seconds ahead to now only half a second. And he's going to look vulnerable heading down the back straight here as we go past Britain's chicane. Down towards Hislop's, of course, cutting out Britain's on this layout we've got here today for the Apex Racing Open Day onto the brake set. And once again, those Mercedes are looking strong through this part of the circuit as we hook up a right, a left, a right, and now head up the hill underneath the bridge.
I think he's just getting a little bit tight right now, is Khalid. I think he's a little bit concerned about making a mistake as it's alongside just behind as well. Gad might be able to get past Fraser. Fraser's been alongside into duos pretty much every lap so far. And generally, I think he's lost out on most occasions. He's certainly lost out on that occasion. Gad is back up to 6th place, but it looks like it's going to be too late for Gad after that poor start where he went from 4th down to 8th. And despite definitely having the pace to get through in this race into the top 4, it looks unlikely to happen. It's a one-lap shootout then between Ramadan and Jobling for the final transfer spot. The gap is 0.3 of a second. And rather than necessarily the gap, it's mainly where you can overtake, which is going to be the big question. Surely Hislops has got to be the obvious choice.
Well, Sam, white flags in the air. That means 1 lap left to go here in the second and the quarterfinals in the Apex Racing Open Day. And who is going to pick up that last transfer spot? Needs a big effort here from the Mercedes of Nigel Jobling. And
much
Ramadan
later into the brakes, and it's a nice exit as well. This could be an opportunity. Ramadan's going to have to go defensive in order to hold on to this position as he gets chased from behind by Jobling, who's a 1/10.5 behind. He's gradually gaining just a few hundredths of a second on the straight. Ramadan will put his car into the middle of the circuit. That's all he needed to do. Get it stopped, get it through the chicane into Knickerbrook. Maybe a small opportunity, not quite getting alongside. And now it's the exit. And this is where Jobling was able to get past Fraser earlier on, and he's got part of his car alongside. It's not enough though, because Ramadan has a slightly shorter line and is able to stay ahead. Now into Druids. Can he stay ahead? There's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Ramadan is wide. Can he keep it onto the circuit? He can, and he's just got one more corner to survive him to get into the top 4.
This is it, all or nothing, Sam. Down into Lodge Corner. Will James wins. Shuri and Rodrigo are through, but they're side by side coming into the final corner. Who's going to get the best drive? It's not a big run to the line. I think Ramadan might have just done enough here, Sam, and he makes that last transfer spot. But only 900ths of a second separating the pair of them.
He covered off the inside everywhere he needed to there, did Ramadan. Jobling did nothing wrong. I don't think there could have been anything more that he could have done. It was good to see the two of them fight it fairly towards the end of that race. And I think Khalid, honestly, one of the biggest surprises. He was the seed number 4 going into this race, but considering that in qualifying he wasn't quite as competitive, that is quite a performance from him in order to get into the semi-finals.
It is, Sam. It is, but it's these moments in racing, isn't it? Just being in the right moment at the right time to get the job done. Sometimes it's picking up pieces from someone who's made a mistake, but sometimes it's just about just being there on raw pace. And I think we saw a little bit of everything there from Ramadan in terms of getting the job done to getting that last transfer spot.
Yeah, it was real good work from him. I think we might be having a chat with Will Dames now. However, he's just sorting out a couple of things with his headset at the moment, but we should be able to have a chat with our race winner. We didn't really see the top 3, honestly.
No, didn't need to,
because it was all going on behind. They knew what they needed to do, and we're quite happy to be in those places. But I think now we might be able to have a chat with Will. Will, can you hear us all right? At the moment, it seems like he's... Oh, hi. We can now
hear me?
Will. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you doing?
Okay.
Will, that seemed like a fairly dominant performance, honestly. You look very comfortable with this car check combo right now.
Yeah, it was a race. Yeah, to it really doing laps.
Yeah, it's seemed pretty good for you there. And then, you know, when it comes to the semi-finals, is there anyone that you're kind of looking out for that you think might be a particularly big rival for you? Anyone who you don't want to be in the same semi-final as?
I don't really know. I'll just see what happens, but some people look quick, so see how it goes.
Very wisely not saying Leo Gariboli there, who, just as he shook his fist at the camera. Sure, you guys will be batting and by the end of tonight, and we very much look forward to it. Congratulations, Will, and best of luck for the remainder of the evening.
Thank you very much.
So Will Dames, your race winner from quarterfinal number 2. And straight away at the start of today, I think he was up there. I think honestly for me, Garibaldi, Will, and probably Reese Carroll as well. I think the 3 favourites for me. And I think we might see Reese actually in this next race potentially coming up. No, sorry, Reese is going to be quarterfinal 4. But I think still those 3 are looking very strong on CI.
And in terms of the semi-finals, Sam, how are they going to form up? Because we could see some of these key battles happen much earlier on. We won't have to wait for the final to happen.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to see what the lineups are going to be for the semi-finals. Not quite sure what that's going to be at the moment, but yeah, that will be all decided. I think mainly drivers from quarterfinal 1 and quarterfinal 2 will be occupying that one. But for this next race then, Tim, we have got a few drivers who we're a little bit less familiar with. We do know one man, however, in this, Aaron Smith.
We do.
Who is taking part in this race. Also Tom Mayle as well. Tom is a very quick driver.
Yeah.
I think took part last year as well, did Tom.
He did.
So he will be dangerous. Callum Dunn is solid as well. Adam Tompkins, great to see Adam get through. Adam had a bit of a mare in his heat where he was in heat 1. Which was maybe the most competitive heats of all of them, and was 3 wide going to turn 1, made contact, got wiped out, finished P6, really concerned that he wasn't going to be able to get through, but he did manage to get through because his average lap time was very strong for him, and so he will also be in that race. So obviously, you know, I'm probably going to say this because you know, I'm maybe try and make it sound entertaining, but genuinely I think all 4 of these quarterfinals are very evenly matched.
He was one of our fastest losers, wasn't he, Sam? He wasn't. Well, let's. Well, I'm just hearing my ear. We've got a lovely, lovely segue planned for us, Sam, as you've mentioned Tom Mayle.
Yeah, we're going to be able to chat with him from, or Tom Mayle from 1 year ago, and yeah, find out a little bit more about him and yeah, see what he had to say.
Right, we're downstairs in the customer centre, so let's go and find some people to chat to and see what it is they love about sim racing. Let's go. It's a very sort of focused energy at the moment. We're going to grab some people. Let's go in here, let's go in here. This is a quiet room. Guys, how are we doing? What's your name?
Mohammed.
Let's go.
Mohammed.
There we go. And how far have you travelled today?
Around 2-hour drive from Huddersfield.
2-hour drive from Huddersfield. Absolute legend. How long have you been interested in sim racing now?
I started around 2019, I'd say, and then only got into iRacing over 2 years now. But yeah, yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so what do you hope to get from today's event?
Seeing as my rig isn't as high tech as these, I think it would be quite fun to try it. But definitely some of the people like Tom I haven't met before, but I've raced with him, and it was quite interesting to come and meet them. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. No, I like that. And biggest question today then is, are you going to win?
Well, I've already been knocked out first round, but it was a fun race. I enjoyed it, but
We got a lot of laughter going on. It was a fun race. Where'd you come?
5th, just outside. Yeah.
That's okay though. That's right.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, so it's all good. It's all good.
That's awesome. Right, we're going to bring Tom on then because he mentioned Tom. Let's get Tom involved straight away. So, wow, I know your name's Tom. Where have you come from?
Coventry, so not that far, just down the road.
And how did you get on in the first race?
I came 4th just in front of Mo, so I'm through to the next round.
That's all that counts. That's all that counts, isn't it? Beating you, mate.
Yeah.
And so, you're through to the next round. What are you hoping to get out of today's event?
Well, like Mo said, just meet up with a load of the guys because I know a load of the guys here, but I've never, met them in real life. So it's nice to come and meet up and see them, face to face.
I think that's good because obviously sim racing can be quite a lonely sport at home. Yeah. You go, high five. You got no one to high five. You come here, and it's like there's more camaraderie. You can catch up with people. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So already you've seen a few people that you've raced against.
Yeah. All the guys around here I've kind of raced against and. Hang out with quite a lot on Discord and on iRacing, so it's nice to come and see them face to face.
I like that. And how long have you been doing sim racing?
About 2 years now.
2 years, veteran then. Have you won anything big?
No, not yet.
Are you going to win today?
Let's see. I hope so.
I like that. It's been great chatting to you, Tom.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
Interesting what past Tom Mayle had to say. Wonder any wisdom the future Tom Mayle has taken from that little moment there.
Exactly. Let's see if he's a changed man now, and has learnt from last year, and yeah, could be in line for strong result. The seed number 5 for this race, the seedings ain't absolutely matter a whole lot. I would say if you're number 1 seed, then obviously you've won your heat early on. That's a very good sign. When you get down to 4th, down to 8th, honestly, it gets a little bit more, tricky because you could have been involved in an incident perhaps. Maybe you're in a slightly weaker heat, so you took advantage of that, and so it's a little bit more open to change on that front. But it looks like all the drivers are pretty much in the session, and we're not going to be too far away from jumping in, Tim. But well, we've got a few prizes as well. There's pretty much prizes for anyone who gets into the final tonight. So the winner gets a very nice prize of getting a wheelbase and wheel rim.
Courtesy of VRS.
Courtesy of VRS, who of course provide all the simulators for us at the Apex Racing Sim Center. However, we've also got these nice prizes from Corsair as well, and Elgato. So you can see we've got a nice little mouse there from Corsair. This is one of the many prizes from Corsair which is available. Almost
as nice as lovely Elgato Stream Deck Plus, Sam.
And I mean, it does look nice. And
it
like,
does.
Don't you want to press those buttons? There's nothing nicer than pressing buttons on
there
a
is.
Stream Deck. I think that's what all the...
It's so satisfying.
It is so
It is.
I mean, the way that they're designed as well, it's just it's real nice. So real nice kit, actually. And of course, if you are looking to get a Stream Deck, generally these are one of the best that you
There
can
isn't, and
buy.
there's some lovely knobs that you can twiddle of just volume and stuff. Who doesn't? No. Move on quickly, Timothy. About to trip up over yourself. Of course, the Sabre RGB Pro. Now, Sam, as you mentioned, what does this have in common with the way that you run your leagues with great efficiency?
I don't know, smoothly?
Well, no, I was going to say Control Freak written on the side here.
Oh, okay.
No, but as always, let's talk leagues. We've got ARL Prototype League back, and it is bigger than ever coming up soon, Sam, haven't we?
Yeah, that'll be starting up in just under 3 weeks' time. That'll be on Friday evenings. Will be broadcast from the Apex Racing TV esports studio right here. And it's got LMDH, LMP2, and LMP3 cars. So if you're in
3 categories, Sam.
3 categories for the first time, Tim.
Surely, you wouldn't add even more fun and intrigue and drama and excitement into it by splitting them into subcategories below that. Surely not, Sam.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could cope with that.
Everyone's going to have a chance at a championship win because we've got pro and ams in each of the classes. So 20 car fields, 10 car fields for each division. And so you can sign up at apexracingleague.com. So if you're a fan of sports cars, then it is definitely a good championship to enter. Hour-long races, approximately some 75-minute special races as well involved in the calendar. We'll need do check it out on apexracingleague.com.
Question for you, Sam.
Sure.
Is the reigning champion and reigning Asus Apex Racing League Endurance LMDH champion Marteau signed up?
He hasn't put his name down
No,
yet.
he's on a real massive win streak of championships as well, isn't he?
He is. I think he's like won 5 out of 6 championships. He's
scary.
Or maybe even 5 out of 5. I'm not sure. He's really good. And he actually did visit the Apex Racing Sim Center just a couple of weeks ago. A few images of that up on the Apex Racing League social medias on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So yeah, if you can travel from the Netherlands to the UK in order to see us, you should be able to sign up to a league. I think is fair enough.
I think you should be able to.
So yeah, look forward to potentially him being in that, albeit I'm sure many of the other LMDH drivers will be hoping that they do not have to rival Kia in order to take the championship in that category. As I think just the first few times in qualifying, Tim, are being started. Outlaps are complete, and we're going to soon have an idea of who's got the pace advantage for this third quarterfinal of the evening. We're only getting started here, Tim. It's 7 races that we've got to get through, and this is only the start of the third one, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, Sam, we've got the appetizer that is the quarterfinals. We've got our main, or entree, as our friends across the pond in America like to call it. We've got the semi-finals, and then it's the dessert, the treat that is the grand final, Sam. And we're just over halfway through our starter. And who is going to take pole? In terms of cars, an even split, Sam, of Astons and Mercedes here. 4 Astons, 4 Mercs. Which is going to be the car that takes pole? The Astons have looked really strong so far, so it seems almost to be the car to be in. And there is your provisional pole time, the time to beat. It's that man we were talking about earlier on. Well, I say that as James Bramy takes away it from him. I was about to say Tom Mayle on pole, but it's 3 Astons in the top 3. Bramy, Mayle and Smith locking that one out. Adam Tompkins, most of the Mercedes qualifiers so far, as Harvey Jones comes across the line. He goes 5th, displacing Callum Dunn. It's Miroslav Nostalgic and Lapsiak, who times deleted on those opening laps, Sam.
Yeah, what a time from Bumi. That's insane. So James' fastest time earlier on in quarterfinal 2 was a 35.56. So he's gone nearly a 10th of a second faster than what James did, and we're only 4 minutes into the session, down to the fact that James, I believe, was in heat 1 earlier on, so I'm not sure if he's actually driven on the rig for the last 5 hours. May have been able to have a quick try as Jones takes a bit too much grass and hits the wall. He'll escape back to the pits. But Bumi as well, I think, was the second to last driver. He was basically out of the top 32 drivers who got into the quarterfinals. He was 31st. Was James, because he had a crash at the start of his heat and so barely scraped through into this stage. He is taking advantage of his extra lives right now, being on pole position and some pole position, which will be tricky to beat. However, Adam Tompkins has exactly done that. 800ths of a second clear. Mayle wasn't able to improve on that, but it is currently Bumi on pole position. Back again, so he's just
snatched it back from Adam Tompkins.
Incredible times, 35.2. This, I mean, the top 3 would all be on pole position if this was quarterfinal 2.
That is a frightening stat, Sam. That is a really, really frightening one. Harvey Jones, I mean, this is where it gets tricky for him, because obviously that spin gone again, and just thinking of those tyres, Sam, in terms of qualifying. I mean, weirdly, they have more time to qualify than they do to race here. That's a bit of a unique format you've come up with. You don't see that anywhere else.
Formula 1 was on earlier on, and I don't know the result of it. But
no, don't tell us anyone in chat. Please don't.
No, we want engagement on the chat, but not that level of engagement. And everyone knows in Formula 1, qualifying is better than the race, and so why can't that apply to this as well? Qualifying is nice and tense. As you get into the race, often it can be a bit stale, can't it? But I don't know who's going to get pole position right now, because Bumi is absolutely flying along. By the way, this lap from Bumi, it would also be pole position for quarterfinal 1 as well. It would have been faster than Garibaldi. So Bumi, fastest time of the day right there. This is phenomenal for him, and he's being pushed by both Tompkins and Mayle. Bad luck for Aaron Smith. I mean, that's a great time, a 35.6. It's not enough as Tompkins improves, but still is in second place. Can Bumi go even faster? A few green sectors from him. It's just a little bit short. Mayle also improving. He's in 3rd position.
Isaac Phelps, me and you can fill out very, very quickly, my friend. Or maybe it's just a bit of a lie in the chat there. Thank you for that one. Mark Fletcher saying, I've got anyone in here? Well, yeah. It's current pole sitter, a fellow altitude driver. Now, are we going to see an epic battle for that 4th position? Again, like we saw in the previous race, Sam.
I mean, these top 4 are very good.
They are. I mean, but to look at the spread, it's... well, I mean, Mayle and Smith, nothing between those two. Actually, I like that, 300ths a second.
I mean, look at those seedings. In race 1, or quarterfinal 2, sorry, the seedings were very accurate. The top 4 all went through. This race,
it's inverted.
No correlation. It's inverted. I mean, I don't use that word lightly. It is inverted. And so we've got the #1 seed of Jones, who won his heat, at the moment only down in 7th position right now. We've got Nastalchik in 5th position, and Labtrack as well, also missing out.
But Sam, for Jones, of course, he spun, and I believe he had back to the pit. Did he reset to the pits? I didn't quite catch that one. But everyone else has, kept that momentum going up with tyres, etc. he could be the driver that's starting out of position. He's a bit out of sync as Tompkins goes faster again now. Brahmy will come across the line. He goes
This might be an improvement for Smith as well. There goes
faster.
Lapatch. He goes to 5th. I thought Smith might improve there. He did set some personal best sectors, but it wasn't quite enough. But what a lap time from Tompkins. They are
Jones is off again, Sam. He's off again.
Yeah, Jones is off. Oh, well, that's going to be it for him. But Tompkins and co are just destroying. Maybe we could get into the 34s. That's probably going to be what's necessary to get pole position in the semi-finals later on. Amazing pace from two guys who barely made it through into this race. Hopefully they didn't crash into one another like they did in Heat 1. Early on. It was Tompkins and Bumi who did make contact. I don't think it was either their faults. I think there was one other driver involved as well, who I'm not quite sure who it was. But yeah, what a chance for both of them. As well, still Lapatch has got an opportunity to complete this lap. Tompkins can still improve, Mayo can still improve, and Smith can still improve. Even Nastelchik, if he's very quick, might be able to get round a bit. I feel like Miroslav might just miss out.
Yeah, he's on that cusp, isn't he, Sam? Well, Brahmy done. Second is the highest that he can start on the front row. Will it be Tompkins holding on to it? I mean, based on the times we've seen so far, it's looking good for those two starting on the front row. Mail and Smith looking good there too, but can anyone dig this one out in the closing stages of qualifying lap shot? The interesting one for me, Sam, in 5th. Has he found enough here in the closing stages in that Aston to try and move up on the grid? And the answer to that one is no, but Smith just displaces Mail to go third even, Sam.
Good effort. I think that would have been enough for pole position in quarterfinal 2. And Nastelchik wasn't far away, albeit I don't think it was a particularly good lap from him, so I doubt there would have been an improvement. So yeah, our fastest qualifying so far tonight, and it is Adam Tompkins on pole position, half a tenth clear of James Buemi. Then it is Aaron Smith in 3rd position and Tom Mayo in 4th. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Radek Lapatch and Miroslav Nastelchik. Ari Jones lines up in 7th place, and Callum Dunn with it all to do from 8th. So Jones would have been frustrated with that. Honestly, Jones's lap time, I mean, 1.4 seconds off. You know, he can't complain too much about the kind of competitiveness of this quarterfinal, but from this position, it's still going to be very tricky because those top 4, as long as they can just get through the first couple of corners, they will know, and I've said this a few times, they'll know what they need to do and will get through. I know that Aaron was actually, following around, I think it was Derek earlier on, actually. Very passive was Aaron in his heat. So I expect him to follow that again. Don't know about Tom Mayo, but of course Tom faced last season as well. He knows what to do in this scenario to just set up 4th place. Albeit he's a bit in the firing line because the top 3 can happily, organise, let's just follow one another. Tom is a bit more of a position where he could be dived by someone, and it's a bit more risky in that, on the fringes of the top 4.
He's on the cusp, and just being asked in the chat there by Mark Fletcher. I take it it's fit sets. Yes, it is kindly supplied to us by Apex Racing Academy with over 50 data packs, track setups, guides, one-on-one coaching, group coaching sessions, and much, much more. Make sure you check them out. I'm sure there'll be very shortly after there'll be a link in the chat, undoubtedly. But heading down towards the back of the circuit now, just this short rolling start of a lap, Sam, behind the Porsche 911 safety car. Very similar to the Porsche Cup car we had out front earlier on, courtesy of Adam this morning.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see, wasn't it?
It was.
Thanks to Adam and his squad for
Team Parker Racing. Thank you to those guys for bringing that one along. But it is in. Let's get ready to go racing in the 3rd of our quarterfinals as we are green and we are racing. And a bit more of a calmer move, but free wide there in the background. Wow, that was a big, big move. A giga move, in fact, from Harvey Jones. He tried to get his way up through the field. Was Nastelchik just dropping through there? Oh, gone.
I mean, that'd be hideous in real life. That was ugly there for Jones. He made contact, it looks like, with Lapatch. We're going into Cascades. And that is them obliterated. Now there's some more contact, and that's going to be spinning round, and off the circuit goes Callum Dunn. And he is done in this race, and his evening is done as well. And 2 of our 8 are out of contention. The top 4 were able to make the break. Wasn't exactly a good start for Aaron Smith. He's already dropped a bit of time to the top 2, but Lepatch and Nastalchik not there to capitalise. And they've got a lot of work to do, but good start for Lepatch, to be fair, to be in that 5th position. As in fact, Tom Mayles is off the circuit. What has happened to Tom Mayles? One of the absolute shoo-ins. I don't think he's going to make it through, and it looks like he's hit the inside tyre barrier. What a mistake, Tim.
Sam, we saw that earlier on, didn't we? But let's get a replay of that start, Sam. 3 wide into turn 1. Wow, that was nearly the absolute giga move there from Harvey Jones.
And then you can see he just gets a bit crowded out here, gets onto the curb, and when he comes back on, makes some more contact and flies into the wall.
Sam, that is really, really tight. Those last 2 places of the drivers still running, and it is all over that last transfer spot. We're seeing what happened yet again, Sam, in the previous of the 2 quarterfinals that we've had so far. It is so tight over that last transfer spot, and this, I get the feeling, could come right down to the wire. Our top 3 heading off into the distance, and side by side through a part of the circuit that tightens up on exit, and they get away with it somehow. And it's Nastalchik just heading through there for now, Sam. And I think for now is that crucial part of that statement, both squirrely on the exit there out of Shellall's corner.
This is the big battle that we are particularly invested in, because that was fantastic work from Nastalchik. But he's not coming off the inside for the next corner. He has got it clear. That's MG looking real nice from the back of the car. And Lepatch is go regroup. He knows what he needs to do. I think the 2 of them potentially are friends. I think potentially Nastalchik and Lepatch, not 100% sure. But yeah, one of them's got to get through. The thing is, they can crash each other out, and one of them will still get through. So not too concerning there. As we'll watch on live pictures to see if there's any change. And this was Mail exactly
Carbon copy.
Just turns in too much, and he smacked that boy. That wasn't a clip. He properly obliterated.
Well, Sam, we're 3 minutes in, out of the 8. And as we were saying earlier on, top 3 getting away off into the distance. That last transfer spot still being fiercely contested over right now. There's your leader, Adam Tompkins, sailing off into the distance. And the last 2 seeds in this 3rd quarterfinal are the drivers that are going to, well, make it through and make it through comfortably here. I mean, what a recovery from these 2. Look, down and out in terms of their heat, but Sam, they're making it through in the quarterfinal stage.
Adam was really concerned, I think, earlier on. He was really gutted after his heat. It was the first heat as well, and he's out, and he's thinking, oh man, it's 12:30, and I'm out of the tournament already. But no, he was one of the fastest losers. He got through, and he is really making it pay right now. But it just does demonstrate, I mean, Adam has a very good chance at winning tonight. Like, his pole position time was so good, as I kept on going on and on about, probably to a boring degree, but honestly it was a brilliant qualifying lap from him. And yeah, he could certainly win tonight, could Adam. But yeah, basically my point is that it demonstrates anyone can get wiped out in any race, and the fastest driver may not win tonight, honestly, but it's who can navigate their way through each of those races and then perform that fantastic qualifying lap in the final, who will probably come out on top.
Sam, we're starting to see a bit of a break now in that 4th, 5th battle. As I say that, the gap then shrinks again. It's ebbing and flowing. 2 drivers in exactly the same car, the same setup, but stronger and weaker in different parts of the circuit. That's going to keep us entertained. It's going to keep things close. Oh, Sam, I think we've got... Are we going to take white flag next time around? When we come round to the start-finish line?
Yeah, it will be, because we're not quite getting in that extra lap. We're not far away from edging in the extra lap in the 8 minutes. But I think we're always like 5 seconds short. So despite the strong pace that Tompkins is performing at the moment, I think we will just be short once again. And so time is running out for Lapatch, who is Yumi, a driver who I'm not too familiar with. I think that's an altitude shirt.
It is, Sam.
I believe so. Not a driver who I've commentated on iRacing, honestly. Do you have any experience with Tim?
I don't know. His team, yes, and
Mark Fletcher, very much a friend of Apex.
yes, definitely, and commentate on Mark and altitude here on Apex Racing TV many a time. However, it's a new driver, and that's what's great to see. You know, so many drivers coming along, and you know, names that we're not necessarily all used to. He was, you get the stalwarts of Apex Racing leagues, but get some fresh blood in here. Absolutely love it. A great setting in which to do so. And what worries me, Sam, is just how hard these two seem to be pushing each other, and the concentration on James Brahimi's face right now. He means business.
James Smith is going to go for me. He's smart. I don't know James too well, but to me, he is not an idiot. I'm going to go that far to say. Now, if James tries to go for a move here and it fails, then I am going to declare him to be an idiot. Because it's unnecessary, obviously, because you just need to fall, and it doesn't matter what position you are in. Look, he's joking around.
Yeah, he's taking one ear off.
He's all happy. There you go.
Yes,
He
knows the
He's
drill.
absolutely loving it. He's all happy. He's not going to crash.
Oh, look
he
at that.
doesn't need first position.
Yeah, but Sam, concentration mode has fully engaged once again. Back on the attack, just a cheeky, bit of banter there on the back straight. He's in love a bit of back straight banter.
Definitely. Maybe he didn't hear me
But
calling him a potential idiot.
Mark Fletcher saying in the chat, please just finish the race, James. FFS, lol.
We're all saying that. We all just want him to
We
finish.
can't repeat what FFS means. Still, though, that battle for fourth is raining on 8 tenths. I mean, it's checker flag is out, so I don't think it's going to be close enough to see the dramatic finish in which we saw in quarter-final 2. However, there you go, Tompkins, Brahimi, 2 tenths separating those two at the line there through. So's Aaron Smith. What's happening for fourth? Well, Nostalgic is through. That last of the transfer spots goes to him.
Well done, Miroslav. From 6th on the grid, got through that first lap. It was a bit tight, and I wonder if there'll be a few words between some of the drivers after those first few moments, because that's the nature of lands where you got to face who you just raced against, and maybe a little bit of a discussion amongst them to see what happens with, of course, Jones firing off into the wall. It was very much Mail's fault. The damage that he picked up, he'll be gutted. Mail knew that he had a chance at certainly a spot in the final. He's not going to be able to achieve that. But Tompkins, not a driver who I necessarily thought was going to be in the mix. I identified those 3 drivers earlier on, Tim, who I thought was going to win. But I think Tompkins, we ought to put him in those echelons, and probably Bumi as well. Let's not forget Aaron Smith, very quiet in that 3rd position. I think that's the 2nd, 3rd position that Aaron has got so far tonight.
But it doesn't matter, Sam. It's all you need to do. It's just getting the job done. And talking of getting the job done, Sam, let's have a bit of a chat to our winner, Adam Tompkins. Well, no, we won't, because he's jumped the gun and he's jumped out of his rig. Such as the excitement of winning, just couldn't contain it and had to go to expend some of that excitement, although I can just see it at the corner of my eye.
He might be getting back in, actually.
He might be getting back in, yes. So hopefully we can have him join us
it might
very,
just
very
be
shortly.
a random person. It will either be Adam or Nicholas Horn, and everyone wants to chat with Nick Horn, eh? So worst case scenario, we accidentally see his face. Yes.
So Tompkins in the 7 there. I mean, looking really dominant, and Sam, I don't know how to call this. I mean, you say about Aaron Smith, you just get the job done. It doesn't matter where you come in that top 4 that gets through, as long as you're inside it. So it's, I mean, it's just about getting it done, isn't it? But let's have a bit of a chat to Adam Tompkins, who joins us now. Adam, congratulations. You're right, you are just having a chat now. We see your webcam there, looking to the camera. Beautiful as always. Well, I mean, James Romy really pushed you there. Could you feel the intensity in pushing along, or were you quite quietly confident in your position?
James was a really good driver, so I felt quite comfortable with him, to be honest. So I was, he's got a lot of experience and a very fast driver as well. So just keep it steady, keep in the top 4. That's the main goal. Doesn't matter where you come in the quarterfinals, whether you've set the fastest lap in quali or not. So, but yeah, that's why I try to ease away, but not too much.
I mean, you say about that qualification, the top 3 of you all would have been on pole in quarterfinal 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's some really fast pace. I mean, looking forward to semi-final. So, fancy your chances there, surely?
Yeah, possibly. Look at the draw as well, I think. We'll see which semi-finals. Well, everyone's probably going to meet at some point anyway. So, but yeah, I really like this charcoal to park's cracking circuit. Bit difficult to push too much, but you can't push too little because then you get punished as well in terms of speed. So, yeah, really good event. Really enjoying it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes in the semis.
Well, good luck for those. So that's Adam Tompkins, your winner here in quarter-final 3. Oh, Sam. It is building the pressure, the intensity, the competitiveness. It's all coming alive, isn't it? We're building nicely to that crescendo of a grand final right now.
I really like this format. I know that across other, sim racing series use it, such as ESR1, where when you sort of cordon off different groups of drivers, and each of them does very well in their group, all of a sudden you think, oh wow, this guy's amazing. Because of course, if they're just winning a race, it's very tricky to compare people.
Yes.
And so you've almost got this like building of it, where it's like, oh, it's a winner versus a winner against a winner against a winner. It's almost like a champions almost between each of the races. And well, that's going to be what the semi-finals are, and there's going to be another factor of that when we move to the final as well, where it's the absolute top echelon of drivers. So I'm very excited. I don't know who's the fastest necessarily, but by those qualifying times we saw in quarterfinal 3, as you identified before, it is looking very good for all those drivers. But quarterfinal 4, dare I say the one that the chat is most excited about, to be honest, because just a quick rundown. So our seed number 1 for this one is Reese Carroll. Reese is brother of Owen Carroll.
Well, Owen would say that the lesser brother, Reese would say the better brother, I think.
Yeah, well, iRacing would say Owen is the better brother, I would say. But Reese has got an opportunity to get one title over Owen on this one. Reese is very quick and one of my 3 favourites going into today. Alex Wheel in rig number 2, and it's Oliver Newbury, who we've seen a few different series, almost like prototypes. I think we've seen him in the past. Zane Khan, who someone was asking about earlier on in the chat, he is in rig number 4. We've got John Derrick, who's an absolute Apex Racing League stalwart. I remember him back in GTEs a few years ago, so great to see John back involved. Then we've got Axel in rig number 6. Then we've got Nick Horn, who again is a favourite amongst the YouTube chat. And then finally Jamie Yates, who was the 32nd driver in the heat. He was the last driver to qualify. He just about edged his way through, and he is in rig number 8. Quite new to sim racing is Jamie, or quite new to iRacing, I think. But yeah, he will be a little bit of a danger as well. Well,
that's the thing, Sam. He is the unknown quantity in all this.
Yeah, he is unsure for that one. As we might just go to a quick interview with PG's Z, who took part last season in the event, and we'll have a quick chat with him from last year before getting into the qualifying for the final quarterfinal of the evening.
The infamous Twitch, Pablo Castro, how you doing? How was that race?
The race was good fun, was intense. Sad because at the end I lose P1, some mistakes, a massive understeer, but
yeah,
we learn for the next round. So.
I like that. I'm going to be watching you. I like you. I like the style. So how long have you been interested in sim racing, for anyone that doesn't know?
Well, I've been like playing a bit for fun. So when I was always interested in motorsport.
Yeah.
But when I got really interested was when I moved to UK.
Yeah.
Because I had to give up my hobbies, like real cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So I started to take as a hobby sim racing, and later with COVID, less things to do. So I take it even more serious.
I love that. And so how many followers you got on your Twitch now?
15K more or less.
15K, love it. What would you do, because a lot of people that want to get into social media, twitching, what advice would you give to them to grow a channel?
Well, if they like competitive racing,
Yeah.
like trying to do my best every time,
Yeah.
they can come
Yeah.
to my channel. If they just, I'm a bit different than the others, just I take it really serious.
Yeah.
Because what I enjoy is not streaming, I enjoy racing.
Yeah.
But my aim is always to fight. So
And to win, yeah, obviously.
yeah.
So we'll see
I'm not so
if
good,
we move
but-
over here a bit, mate. Sorry, just so we can get this background. So, why have you come today? What are you hoping to get out of today, like experience-wise?
Well, I just wanted to meet some people,
Yeah.
have fun, a bit of fun on the competition, see everything around here.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Because like, well, sim racing can be quite sort of lonely because you're at home, you're in your rig, you're in your room or your garage or whatever. But here, everyone's saying the same thing. You get to meet the people you're racing.
Yeah, obviously it's so nice, so different. Obviously, just feels different. In person, even the competition, just even it's for fun. You get like, I compete in the past in biking, and you get the same feeling, you know? It's real people watching.
I love that. I love it. What do you think about the facility? Do you think it's cool?
It's more than cool. I don't know from where you take the money, but nice. It's good stuff, to be honest. I'm really impressed. It's really impressive.
It's really good. And last question then, are you going to win the next race?
I will do my best. I need to find some magic brake beers, and maybe we can fight. We'll see.
I love it. Pablo Castro, thanks very much, mate. You've been awesome.
Thank you. Regards.
Well, Sam, good news with nearly upon us is quarter-final for qualifying. 4 seconds left in practice. 2, 1, that's it. Checker flag out. They'll disappear. We'll transition across into qualifying. Who's going to take this one, Sam? Who is the SFF, Sam Fitzpatrick favourite?
I think, well, it's Reese Cow. Short answer. Because Reese is very quick in his seat, and he's a very quick driver. And he's the seed number 1. And I know whilst the seedings don't really matter a whole lot in quarter-final 3, generally in quarter-final 1 and 2, it was very indicative of who would come out on top. So, yeah, I think Reese is an overwhelming favourite. Dare I say, maybe the first man to get into the 34s. So far, the first time is a 35-0. And I think Reese is going to put a 34 in it. Maybe even a 34-8, dare I say.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Nicholas gets on. Because
he's in a Porsche.
He is. And the only Porsche in this quarter-final.
What I
I'd
would
say
say
semi-final there, jumping the gun,
is that, of course, the drivers should probably stick to the same car throughout the day, but if they want, they can change car. And I would say that would be an extra level of victory if someone drove 4 different cars across the day to win the event. And I think, you know, Leo, if he wins tonight as well, just as he did last year, I mean, make the third one a bit of a challenge for him, right?
BMW?
And no, just drive all 4 cars at different points of the day. That's how you. That's how you become.
that is completionist levels.
That's completing the game, isn't it? So yeah, do that next year, Leo. If he wins tonight, which I think is unlikely, because whilst I think he is one of the joint favourites, there are many favourites, and so really the chances for each are diminished. First few times are just starting now, and this is Reese Carroll we are riding on board with now, heading into turn 1, and we've seen a few of even our top drivers really struggle to get in eligible lap times so far tonight. I think that was just about all right there for Reese through the first corner.
First diving down on the brakes through Cascades. That off track there, so easy to pick up
so
on the
dumb.
exit.
It's so
It is.
stupid. It's not all 4 wheels off the track, I think.
No, it's not. It's literally just, so there's a bit of curbing, Sam, and as soon as you just dip part of your front wheel off that curbing at the end, when it ends, that's it, it's an off track. It's like,
And of course,
oh, come on, you know, it ain't going to make that much difference, is it?
And of course, the way that iRacing kind of judge all the off-tracks is by, they have like a thing in the middle of the car, and if that middle of the car, so I think it's I'm not entirely sure, but it feels like when you're driving, like if more than half the car goes beyond the white line, then that's the 1x picked up, which obviously shouldn't be the case. It should be all 4 wheels of the circuit. Means it's dare I say, it maybe makes more sense than the Red Bull Ring track limits we have in iRacing. That is not necessarily the best either, but that's sort of the 2 extremes that we have in iRacing, between very lenient and very strict.
It is. Let's say, I've been, in the past a big critic of motorsport games. However, R-Factor 2 and their track limits and their whole incident point system, I think iRacing can learn a thing or two from that. There's one thing they do very well. Is looking between all the sims, but sometimes on the board, who's gonna post what? There it is, Reese Carroll first time on the board, 1:35.9. Just waiting for that to populate up there on that timing tab for you at home. Oliver Newbury second with a 1:36.8. There we go.
A lot of improvements to come on that one.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, we've seen 35.0, so I think that
But,
time
Sam,
will only be good enough for maybe second row assistance.
first 4 lap, sorry, apologies, I'm getting my words out here. 4 drivers having their times deleted. That wasn't one of them though. Alex Wheel goes third.
Could also, to be fair, be, I'm talking about, different lap times being produced by drivers. It is dynamic weather, remember. And whilst the temperature is staying the exact same, the wind temperature will change a little bit, and, maybe the amount of cloud cover might make a bit of a difference as well. I feel a little bit underqualified to talk about that, as though I know exactly what I'm talking about, but there's slight differences which might cause difference. I'm a bit surprised by the pace of those first 3 laps, but again, Reese may not have been in the rig for the past 5 hours, so a lot of these drivers are getting back up to speed. There is Nick Horn, and the YouTube chat explodes in excitement as Nick fails to put in a first lap because he went off the track.
As people who've tended today, Nick Horn definitely wins the most luxurious beard.
And we were so close to
award.
making that an award for one of the Corsair products, wasn't it? Like,
It
it
was.
was last minute, that or the winner of the tournament. And it was a real knife edge, and we just went for the winner of the tournament in the end. So Nick was really unlucky on that front.
Oliver Newbury improving in time, but wow, it's all changing. Drivers getting lap times on the board there, Sam.
Yes, Lipchevich moving up to pole position. 35.8 for him. Again, I think even Slipchevich has got a little bit of improvement there. The seed number 6 is Wheel, sliding it out of the final corner. What time is this going to be for Alex? Can he get a little bit further up the grid? Can he at least close the gap? Looks like he's remained in 5th place, so maybe a 1x picked up for him then. I think he may have just gone a little bit too far through turn 1 as well. That will be pushing it. And he will get, I think, 1 more lap in after this one. Maybe edge in 2 more.
Carroll, no improvement. Now, is this a bit of strategy? He went a second slower last time around, did Reese Carroll.
What I would say as well is that if Reese swaps out for Owen at some point tonight,
Will anyone know?
we're probably not going to know. They look very, very similar. And so, we're going to try to do our best, and we hope that everyone watching along will keep an eye out. Is that Reese or is that Owen? Now, I think that's Reese, but, let's not think that they're above those types of tactics, those two. Not that Reese needs Owen, necessarily. It sounds very harsh on Reese there. I think Reese has got enough pace as is to fight for the overall win. Let's see what he can do in this qualifying session. Is he going to go top? Yeah, here's some more time. This is the time that we're expecting. 35.4 now. Khan as well improves. He's up into 3rd position. It's just Yates who's yet to put in a time. As John Derek. Very nice time there from Derek. A 35.8. That's enough for the 2nd row of the grid. Derek was not one of the drivers who I was necessarily anticipating to get into the top 4. But right now, he is performing brilliantly as Yates sets his first lap time, and it puts him in P7.
Nice little lap there from Jamie Yates. And Sam, where we saw an inversion of the seedings last time, this time it's looking the other way as the commentator coming in full force, and a nice showcase of iRacing's damage model all in one for you there, viewers. So we don't give you anything whatsoever here. There's John Yates just backing it in there to the barrier. But look, I mean, I'll tell you what, something. It's close and competitive between those top three. Karol, Slipcevich, and Derek. Close as you like here. Don't discredit Zane Khan even. I think he's still in with a bit of a shout here. And but realistically, I mean, Newbury was up there early on too. Wheel could still improve further. Of course, our second seed coming into this race as well. Let's know who you're cheering on in this race. Chat free in chat saying Saint Nick for Prez.
It's good to see some Nick support still in the chat. I'd be up for that. Absolutely up for that. Let's see what John is going to do on this next lap. John Derek, is it enough for the front row? No, you can see he was a fair bit further off on that last lap time. Oliver Newbury also just crossing line recently. I think he improved actually, did Oliver, but in 5th position. I've still got maybe a couple more to come. I've still got a minute and 20, so anyone who's on a lap at the moment should be able to complete it. So the top 3 can still improve, and the bottom 3 can still improve.
What would be your top tip for qualifying? Would you go
drive fast?
Lighter on fuel?
You can't change the fuel.
You can't, can you?
No.
Good point, Sam.
But let's say you could change fuel. I would fuel it up for the 10 minutes and just go.
Would you?
Yeah, because these guys are so getting used to the rig still. Getting used to this car track
well,
combination.
that is a good point
You
there,
just need to be out on track as much as you possibly can, if nothing else, for preparation for the race. And the qualifying, or the times compared to, from the start of the day to the end of the day, I'm sure we'll have a stratospheric improvement as the guys get more and more comfortable. I certainly found it when I got onto these rigs. These rigs are absolutely terrific, but it is particularly for someone like myself who was not used to load cell pedals and direct force wheels and triple monitors. It can be very daunting initially jumping into one of these rigs and trying to get up to speed.
Sam, Slipcevich, Derek and Khan. How close are those times to one another? In fact, 9/10 separating all 3 of them. It's fine margin.
Improvement for Slipcevich, but that might consolidate that position. Derek was unable to improve, I believe, and that is the end of the session. And so that will be our grid that you saw just a minute ago. So Karol, as we anticipated, the seed number 1 on pole position for quarterfinal 4 ahead of Slipcevich, and Derek. Khan lines up in 4th position. Then it's Newbury, Wheel, Yates and Horn. Now, Yates and Horn, and I'm not entirely sure their chances for this race, but honestly, I'd say Slipcevich, Derek, Khan, Newbury and Wheel are all very evenly matched. I think any one of those 5 drivers could get through. I think Karol's going to be able to pull away at the front. I think Yates and Horn have got a lot of work to do because they're starting in 7th and 8th. Everyone in between, I think, I wouldn't be surprised Slipcevich missed out even from the front row.
It's Sam, I just don't know. I just don't know. I want Hassan to be there because he's in a Porsche and the underdogness. You know I love a good underdog at the best of times. I mean, well, as we've seen all day long, Sam, it's just about remaining there and not making mistakes. We saw it last year as well, in fact, as too. It's how Leo Bodner went for, I'd say, Leo Garibaldi. Something, 2 Leos, sim racing associated, but very, very different. One's a fast driver, the other one is hardware.
Yeah. So
on that bombshell, though.
Karol exiting the final corner, and we'll soon have control of the field.
Porsche 911 safety car in, and let's get ready to go racing in our final quarter-final of today, as we're Green and Karol not hanging around here, but side by side between the 2 Astons there, and Derek just getting ahead, but a bit of a rejoin there, gets involved, trying to make it free wide is Zane Khan in that Mercedes, trying to pick the faster lane, and Derek now just muscled out onto the outside line as well, shuffling back across, everyone trying to fight for that inside line. Not everyone's going to get there. Bit of a 2 wide in the background of this group between Wheel and Yates in those 2 Mercs. And apologies, it's Newbury and Wheel even. And wow, Sam, I'm amazed in some ways. After all that jockeying for position, that jostling there.
Oh, they're off the circuit. They are off the circuit. I think that was Newbury and Wheel. And Newbury's still off the circuit. What an awful corner it is for him. He just couldn't get back onto the track. And Newbury is down to last position. And his slim chances of getting through are really diminished now. Meanwhile, Derek having to hold off Khan. Khan did the right thing there at backing out of that position because there was not much more than a car's width afforded to him. And so he had to get onto the brakes early. It is Carroll, Slepčević, Derek and Khan still the top 4 just as they were at the start. But again, Khan is moving alongside and he might be able to get past. He's onto the grass. Can he get it stopped? And he just about does. Cuts back across. It's a nice exit for him. And that is one of the most common overtaking spots we've seen so far tonight as we got a car hugely into the wall. And that is Nick Horn. And that will be the end of his day, surely.
Oh, Sam, I can't quite get over that move there from Khan on Derek and then Horn into the wall. It's all falling apart. It's all happening right on top of one another. But already, end of lap 1, Carroll 7 tenths ahead of Slepčević. But he is closing in ever so slightly. Our top 2 looking really clear. Khan and Derek still very, very close to one another. 3 tenths separating them. But crucially, Wheel is 1.1 seconds behind them. Play it safe and you are through. Will they abide by that? I'm not sure. But further down through the field, Newbury trying to sneak his way through. Gets it done over Yates. But got his work cut out because 1.5 seconds up the road is Wheel. And not a lot of time is. Let's take a look at a replay of exactly how it all went down for Wheel. And just dip that tyre on the
So
grass.
that was Horn who
sorry,
smashed
apologies,
into the wall.
yes.
And you're absolutely right. Dips a wheel onto the grass coming out of Druid's corner and fired off into the tyre wall. I think that car still is drivable. He doesn't have a faster pair. There's no faster pairs for this event. So, oh no, Khan! Oh man, well, that is not the face of a man who just nearly spun off and ruined his chances. I think there's a bit of reaction just in the background as well. But Khan was incredibly close. But keeping a level head, he's lost the position to Derek, and this is extremely promising for Alex Wheel, who had a poor qualifying, came into this race as the seed number 2, and he still got a chance. Newbury seems to have made another mistake as well. Newbury's chances are well and truly dashed now. A hugely disappointing race for Oliver, who I think felt confident about making it through into the top 4.
Oh, there's Newbury out. He's gone. Derek's still ahead of Khan though, Sam. These guys need to play it sensible because that mistake from Khan is proving really, really costly because that's now breached the gap between themselves and Wheel, who is surely going to be invigorated here, feeling like he's really, really in with a fighting chance of trying to make those last of the transfer spots. Advantage Derek here because he can back up Khan into Wheel if he's really clever about this. Let them fight. And then just make his life a little bit easier as Khan dancing on the accelerator there. Of course, these cars have traction control, but getting into the TC and really squirrely on exit there just shows how much Khan is pushing there out of shell oils. Derek looking really, really infallible right now. But we've seen so many times, people clipping those back tyre barriers, and that's where it's really, really come undone for him. Let's take a look at their crash here. Oh, that long lazy spin, and oh, nearly contact there.
Yeah, with Jamie Yates, who managed to just about pick his way through. So that was the second instant that Newbury had. Of course, went off the circuit on lap 1 as well, which killed his position as well on that occasion. Otherwise, he'd be right with these guys fighting for third position. So Khan is catching back up again, and Khan was fairly aggressive earlier on. He can understand why, because, you know, Derek will be saying, let's just follow behind, but obviously it's Khan who would be overtaken by Wheel if Wheel caught up. However, Wheel isn't making much of an impression on that last lap. Derek set a 36.4, Khan a 36.0, Wheel a 36.8. So Wheel lost 0.4 of a second to Derek on that last lap. These guys are safe. And so I think Khan needs to be sensible here and just wait behind. But I think he's going to go for the move again.
He's got that air about him like, do you know what? Yes, I'm here to get through, but I'm also here to compete. And this is the thing, Sam. If Derek has a bit of a squirrely moment and Khan stuck behind him, as much as they are clear, that gap can diminish in the blink of an eye. We've seen it so many times. It doesn't matter whether you're endurance racing or if you're doing a race like this where it's all or nothing, everything on the line for 8 minutes. These gaps can really diminish in the blink of an eye, and we're seeing it now there, where Derek clearly not feeling too confident through his lobs.
Oh, this is so tight.
Oh,
Here we go.
Sam.
Here we go. Oh, this is so close. And Derek backs out of it. That was the wise thing to do. Smart stuff there from John. And Khan was going to always attempt to regain that 3rd position, and he has done. But Derek is still going through, and he knows that. And the moment that Khan got alongside, he noped out of that one and remains in 4th position. Wheel, even though they were fighting there, still couldn't gain any pace. And with 1 lap to go, it is looking very strong for the top 4.
Zane Khan getting ahead up into 3rd exactly the same way, Sam. The same place that he did last time against Derek, only 2 laps ago. But they're looking comfortable. It's all the pressure on Alex Eel right now. Johnny Cullen saying in the chat, Nick can still win this. Well, I mean, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. But, I mean, I love your glass half full optimism there, Johnny Cullen. Absolutely loving it right now.
Maybe best YouTube chat comment, I think, of the day. Well done, Johnny. That one did make me laugh.
Yeah, it's an absolute cracker. But I mean, Karol, Slichovic, Khan, and Derek looking really comfortable to make this one through. Just need to close out the lap, bring it home, heading through Knickerbrook and up the hill now towards Clayton Hill, through Water Tower, through Druids Corner. Reese Carroll bringing it home. It's just heading now, Sam, down towards Lodge Corner. This run down the hill onto the brakes and through Deer Leap. Technically the final corner on this track, although it's just more of a kink than anything, but it doesn't matter because Reese Carroll's going to win the final quarter-final. Slichovic 2nd. Khan and Derek are the drivers that make it through. Wheel, Yates, Horn and Newbury all out. I mean, Newbury was anyway after retiring the car. Wow, Sam. I mean, you called it right, didn't you? Reese Carroll, he was your favourite, and he's made it through.
Yeah, but I mean, credit to Slichovic there. How close was that? 1 second in the end was the gap. So maybe Reese was holding back a little bit. Obviously, that would be an understandable tactic from him. But Slichovic really held on to him for that entire race. Of course, not much of a break coming up, but we are soon going to be into our semi-finals. We'll have a little bit more of a chat on that in a few minutes' time. But yeah, I'm glad that Khan and Derek were able to get through because I think Derek drove that one very smartly just to let Khan go at the end of that race.
Should have a little chat to Reese Carroll, who's going to join us now. Reese, congratulations. I mean, it's through with a win. It looked like we were saying, you know, you're just easing off a little bit towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I sort of had a 1.2 gap, so I just thought, I'm not going to make any silly mistakes. I'm just going to keep it sort of clean and make sure I actually win instead of try and push too hard and, you know, crash or whatever. So I just try to keep it easy at the end there.
And you're going to stick with the same car for the semi-final?
Yeah, the Merc really suits my driving style, so I'm going to stick with the Merc all throughout.
Wow, I mean, how are you feeling about that semi-final? I mean, some big names in there, some tough competition. I mean, are you feeling a bit of pressure, or are you feeling quietly confident here?
Feeling quite confident, but, you know, semi-finals, there's going to be a lot more better people in the race, more competition, so it'll be interesting, but I'm quite confident.
Well, Reece, we'll let you hop out the rig. Congratulations on the win, and good luck for the semi-final.
Thank you very much.
Sam, I've asked you what is your favourite track. Suzuka, thank you. That Mark Dawson there. What's your favourite car, Sam?
Favourite car? I'm judging this period by iRacing.
Here we go. I know what's coming next.
I'm not sure what's going to come next, honestly. I haven't made my mind up yet. I'm about to say it, and yet I still don't actually know what's going to come up.
I think, as you are the Sim Racers Magazine Winter Radical Series champion.
No, it wasn't Sim Racers Magazine.
Sorry.
Let's get this right.
Sorry, Sam.
I've said it enough times, and clearly I haven't said it enough. It was the BSR Radical Winter Series Championship, where I beat the likes of Josh Thompson and Nicole Foggy and Kane Halliburton, and I beat them all. So that was a very good performance for me. That would be in my top 3. Other ones would be the original Porsche Cup car, and the other one would be the Corvette C7 Daytona prototype, all of which are dead now, because the cars that I like always go extinct.
It is.
Along with the FW31 as well, that's another one. Love that car. But unfortunately it's gone. Bring that back, iRacing, please.
So what car are you enjoying at the moment? Just so
I didn't really drive much, honestly.
Well, just so we know what can die off next, realistically.
I quite like the LMP2.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So don't invest too much time into that, guys.
No, based on that bombshell. So let's have a little chat now. Well, say a chat. Let's have a little look at another clip from last year and a little chat with Alex Simpson, no less, manager of Apex Racing Team.
This is like a one-stop shop, right, for people that are maybe starting out or even down the line, because you offer training services as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. So the idea is, I mean, I'm not going to sort of show away. I wouldn't say like this is beginner equipment.
Right.
I think this is once you have basically found a little bug for it and you kind of like, I want to see where this can go.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of equipment that perhaps, you know, like most of the esports sort of athletes are using, the direct drives, the really, you know, high quality pedals. There are other brands out there as well. Obviously we have partnered with Virtual Racing School and we think they are one of the best out there. But yes, we'll be supplying a full chassis to someone. You know, they can come here, try it out, see how they get. We can do coaching here for, you know, weeks at a time if they necessarily want. We've got some overnight stay rooms that they can actually stay in as well. And you can have like a crash course, and if they decide that they want one of the rigs, we actually have all the equipment here that they can essentially, they can take it in component form or we can deliver it pre-built.
Okay, so what advice would you give? Because there's obviously we've got loads of people here today, and some of them have just started out, or some of them have been doing it for a while. But to those that are just starting out in sim racing, what would be your advice?
Yeah, I mean, first off, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy yourself. Like, the reason everybody gets involved into this is because, you know, they want to have fun. It's a hobby, you know, racing, it's a good time, all that sort of stuff. If ever you find yourself trying to compete and you're not enjoying it, then you've got to step back a little bit and just always remember it's got to be fun. But once you're sort of in that and you've got this bug and things like that, you know, you just got to keep pushing yourself, you know, keep finding other drivers that perhaps are a little bit better than you to keep learning from them. I think always basically try and partner yourself up with somebody who is a little bit quicker to push you. You never want to be the fastest person, you know, you've always got, there's only one way to go when you're the fastest person. So.
Welcome back, and looking across the chat, just popping in there, welcome back to Liam Slipdifts, who's clearly just missed what's happened. All that anticipation, cheering on Nick Horn, and then misses his race. Not angry, I'm just disappointed.
Did Nick win? We'll rewind about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you'll find out
you'll see.
Answer. Sam, what is small other than my I rating?
I didn't.
Well, the answer to that, Sam, is the Stream Deck Mini, which is one of the prizes that's up for grabs today. Mini in size, but not in function whatsoever. There it is. There it is. Sam, do you have a prize up your sleeve that's up for grabs today?
Yes, I do, because Corsair have been very kind and also offered up a keyboard as well. So this is pretty nice equipment as well. So this will be going to, of course, one of our finalists. Also might go to our favourite overtake or best moment of the race as well. But basically, whoever finishes in second place gets first choice as to what Corsair and Elgato prizes they want.
RGB and mechanical, Sam.
This would be pretty high up on my list. I'm not gonna lie, Tim. I think everyone could do with a nice keyboard. It's always a nice upgrade for your system, and so big thanks to them for offering those prizes, both the Corsair and Stormforce as well.
We've got some lovely prizes. 2 types of stream decks. We've got mice, keyboards,
Hang on, I got it now.
sim wheels. Oh,
Elgato Stream Deck and controller. Elgato Stream Deck mini controller. Also the Corsair mouse and the Corsair keyboards as well. And there are multiple of each of them. So like over like 10 people are going to take away prizes today. I think 12 prizes available today. Pretty cool.
It's like a game show, Sam, doesn't it? You know.
And the first few of those prizes are going to be handed out in the semi-finals as well, which are coming up. We've got 2 semi-finals, then the finals. We're already halfway through the races now, and the winners of the semi-final are going to get one of these Corsair and Elgato prizes just for winning the semi-final. Then, by winning the semi-final, they're guaranteed another prize because they automatically get a prize by getting into the final. So they're going to get 2 prizes, which will be a very nice cash day. Maybe even if they win the raffle, they could win 3 prizes.
Surely not,
What
Sam.
a day, Tim.
Wow.
What a day.
I mean, you've only got 2 hands.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, most people drove here. But yeah, if people
I mean, how are you
were-
going to carry it
if
back to the car?
yeah.
You know.
No way. There's absolutely no way around that, is
I
there?
mean, I've got more than 2 chins, so maybe I could fit some of the prizes in between
maybe.
that. You know.
Yeah.
Lovely. You don't come to my fence. No, Tim. No, you don't.
No,
Don't put
no, it's
yourself
true,
down.
isn't it?
It is.
It's true.
It is, Sam. I've been kindly reminded shortly ago in our ear about, I hope you've been noting down your favourite moments.
My
I've
favourite moment, and I'll go first. My favourite moment, honestly, was the defence from Ramadan in the second quarter final. I thought that was a very tense moment where he was losing a lot of time to the car behind, but was able to hold off. They were side by side for pretty much the entire, well, on a couple of occasions at least, on the final lap. And I thought that was really intense. That would be my favourite moment so far, but of course, plenty more opportunities.
I'm torn, Sam, between semi-final 3, that 3 wide in which Harvey Jones just slotted it up the inside of everyone, or in quarter-final 4 that we've just witnessed, Khan's little move round the upside. Not once, but twice, Sam Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's a shout. What I would say about the first one then was that he immediately did go crashing into the wall after the 2.
Well,
so like,
it was all or nothing,
Yeah, I guess,
It was like a watch this moment, hold my beer,
It didn't
I
exactly
want a
work,
prize.
did it?
Well, it worked initially. They got through turn 1 fine.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Exactly, so it worked.
Well, but he didn't work, did it? Because he didn't get far enough clear to
Well,
avoid
that's
going
like
alongside
saying
into the next corner and crashing. So, personally, that wouldn't be my pick. If the chat are convinced that that's who the prize should go to, let us know. But I'm skeptical, honestly, Tim, myself.
Well, good news. Good news. Oh, I'm hearing Aaron Herbert not in the semi.
Yeah, it might not be as our hand. So Aaron was rig number 7 for this race. So he might just have the 7 cars. So of course people have real lives, and maybe at half 6 he's got to perhaps attend something else. So a slight advantage now for these drivers to get the perhaps, but it's still a very strong field. And qualifying is just kicking off now. The drivers are on their out laps. So the field for this race, going in order from the seedings. Defending champion, Leo Garboli. I mean, the win streak for Leo right now is pretty incredible. Adam Tompkins, however, set the fastest qualifying lap of anyone in the quarterfinals. Maybe he's the favourite, arguably. Archie Heron is the seed number 3. Then it's James Broomy. Watch out for James, he was really strong. I think he set the 2nd fastest qualifying lap of anyone in the quarters. Then it's Johnny Cullen, Aaron Smith, Aaron Herbert, and Miroslav Nastolczyk. So I think, honestly, Leo, Adam, and James are almost shoo-ins, honestly, unless they make a mistake. I think those 3 are locked in. And then I think anyone else could get through, apart from Aaron, obviously, because he's absent.
I mean, still
Aaron
time.
Herbert, that is. And to be fair, thanks to Aaron for not turning up for this race, because it means that we can't get confused between the 2 Aarons, and we really do appreciate that.
Also, Sam, I know you like naming patterns. That would mean 4 drivers who all start with the letter A for their first name.
Wow.
And 2 J's.
And 2 J's. It's, yeah. Not much diversity, is there? So basically, we don't want Leo and Miroslav to get through. We just want the A's and the J's to get through.
I mean, if we had someone with the name AJ as their first name. I mean,
Then,
that's
I mean, they'd be
completionist
dominating,
levels.
wouldn't they?
They'd have it every which way. But back to qualifying, halfway through, opening fastest, or well, opening flying lap even, not necessarily be their fastest. There is your top pick, Sam. Adam Tompkins, of course, we spoke to him after winning his race.
This will tell us if Adam's qualifying was just really OP. Maybe they had just a mega tailwind down the back straight, and that's why they were going so fast. Because their lap times in that qualifying session were unreal. Let's see, if he, remember his best qualifying lap earlier on, well, I think it was a 0.0, 35.0. So let's see if he can do similar to that.
Let's find out, Sam. We're going to cross the line. We're going to get some times on the board. Maybe it's even been 35.3.
That's a good time. And from Smith as well, so they're both backed it up. That's particularly from Smith. That's almost as quick as what his qualifying lap was in the quarterfinals.
Raimi, look at how tight that is, Sam.
And of course, those three were in the same quarterfinal, weren't they?
They were.
And they're together again on the front.
Ooh. Sam, we could lose some big names. I think, well, we're going to lose big names, whatever, out of this first semi-final. There's Johnny Cullen.
Under the radar.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, loved his comment earlier on. That definitely wins comment of the day so far. Nick can still win this. He was well off the pace, and also I like Johnny because he's in a Porsche, and we've not had many Porsche runners. And he's the only Porsche in this semi-final.
It is tiny, that car, isn't it? It really is absolutely incredible.
I mean, it didn't look small when it was the only GT4 available.
Yeah.
And then now you've got the certainly compared to the Aston and the Merc, it's so thin and dainty.
Bit of a slide through Cascade Sport. Johnny, I don't think that was the fast lap time line possible. I wonder if he maybe picks up a 1x through turn 1. I think getting their first lap invalidated was Leo Gariboli. So Leo's got some work to do. He's halfway around his second lap, however. Apparently he pitted, in fact, so maybe he crashed even, did Leo. Of course, it's all fixed setup, so no changes need to be made there. Adam with a 35.3, so it's another improvement for him by like a couple hundreds. Smith improves as... no, sorry, Smith did not improve. Can Buemi improve? Yes, he can. 35.1, that's at the same time that he posted earlier on in the quarterfinals. So Buemi is matching this, and honestly, these times are threatening. That's the second fastest qualifying lap we've seen all day right there from James Buemi. He is right in the hunt tonight to win a set of VRS wheelbase and wheel rim.
A really good prize, Sam. It's the first of the evening.
We had a driver called Wheelie, didn't we, in the previous race?
We did.
And you didn't use that.
No, I didn't.
You've just decided to lodge that in unnecessarily.
I've been holding back all night. Might even break out the Knickerbook story in a bit. I know that'll wind you up as much, I know.
Cullen just crossed the line, I think, for his first lap time. He goes to 5th. Leo... Oh, no, sorry. I think Gariboli was just on an out lap previously, so he towed back. So he lost like 2 laps because of that tow back.
Yeah, but Archie Heron's the worry for me, Sam. See him on screen right now in the Aston. The Aston's currently bookending, qualifying in 1st and 8th. But he's had all his times deleted so far.
He did that in the quarterfinals as well, didn't he?
His final lap.
Until this point.
But no, it was the next lap, Sam, wasn't it? It was his final lap.
Maybe it was, yeah.
Well, no, it was the 3rd and then, and then...
Yeah.
Either. He left it late. That's one thing we can decide on and confirm.
He's still pushing on this lap, though, isn't he? Oh, that's a slightly wide turn in, so he could still be preparing. Let's see what this one is like for Archie. If he can put in a solid lap, he'll easily be P4, I'm sure. Is this a lap? No, it's not.
It's not. It's deleted, Sam.
Is this his last?
Yeah, it will be.
No, he's still got 2 more. He will just get in the second lap with about 3 seconds to spare. So as long as he doesn't spin, if he spins on this lap, that's it for him. But if he hits 2 good laps, then he will have 2 attempts.
Sam, I need to bring you back, though. It's those top 3, just how close they are. 4 tenths separating them. I mean, our top 2, 600ths of a second separating those 2 drivers on the front row. Bramy and Tompkins.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Misses out on the front row by 0.002 of a second, Sam.
That's his best lap of the day. Leo really performed on that lap.
But it's still not good enough for the front row. That's the crazy thing that's happening in semi-final 1 right now.
I do think this semi-final one is very strong. Semi-final 2 is good, but I do think just looking at the lineups and what we saw from that quarter-final 3 earlier on, I do think this one is the strongest. And so still Nastel Chak as well, as is P6, and just the 7 drivers taking part in this race.
But Sam, Archie Heron yet to settle up. He's the dark horse in among this. Can he disrupt them? Let's find out as we head out of Druids. You can see how the car's just dancing out of the corner there. How hard this young man is pushing right now. Diving down onto the brakes here as we come through Old Hall. Sorry, Lodge Corner here. I always get first turn 1 and the last turn mixed up in terms of corner name. Let's find out. Is it going to be a time on the board? Is it another deletion? It's good enough for 4th. Second row of the grid, Sam. And look at how close they are. Nostalgic goes to 6th, displacing Cullen down into 7th.
And he's still got time on this lap, does Heron. Everyone who's just started a lap will get it in. I don't think Bumi will do, though. I think Bumi's a sitting duck. I don't think he's got quite enough time to complete this next lap time. It will be close for him. Here is Aaron Smith. He will be disappointed with P5. I mean, 3.5 tenths off the lead, but that's the competitiveness you get into the semi-final. Is Aaron pushing? It didn't seem like it was especially quick through Shell Oil's corner, but that may have just been a bit deceiving on the eye.
We've had it before, Sam. What worries me as well with just how tight the times are in this qualifying session. Is someone's going to lose that? Oh, Archie Heron's gone. Okay, right, so he's out of the equation. One part of the Venn danger diagram gone. What could Smith... Oh, would that have been an off-track, Sam?
I think he would have got away with that. I think it would have been the inside, would have been quite tight, but...
But the way it looks like he's still going through with full commitment says to me, Sam, that I think you are right there. Hooking it up through Druids. Has he got that right? Pushes it away to the track.
No personal best, though, on this lap, Tim.
Oh... disappointing. Can he finish with a absolute flurry here?
He's backed off. I think he may have backed off at the start, but it's very tricky to tell, honestly.
It is.
Whether someone's pushing or not. Here is Nastel Chak. Is he going to reach the line? There it is. It's going to be very, very close. I think he'll just get that extra second that iRacing gives you. There he goes. And is it enough for an improvement?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, that was a bit.
It goes goes slower by about a second, Sam. So in the end, we have a damp squib towards the end of qualifying in terms of our drivers, and no exciting flurry like we saw in quarterfinal 3. But here is your grid. James Wainme on pole with Adam Tompkins joining him on that front row. Leo Garibaldi in the end misses out on the front row by 0.02 of a second. Archie Heron left it late again, but goes 4th, second row. Aaron Smith and Nostalgic on the 3rd row of the grid. Johnny Cullen going to round out our field here in the Porsche.
And James went faster right at the end of that session. I think I may have missed that. But he's the first man to get into the 34s tonight, 34.8. And that's 3 tenths faster than what he did in his quarterfinal. And that's about half a second faster than what some of the quarterfinal pole times were. So James is definitely the fastest driver in qualifying if you're going to use that data set.
Mark Fletcher saying in the chat, 34.8 with lots of exclamation marks. Someone clearly who's clicked on the link for the live timing, Sam, so you can stay up to date with where everyone is in the race, exactly what lap times they're achieving, etc. A plethora of information available at your fingertips for your viewing pleasure across the whole of the open day. People jumping in the chat. Liam Slip Diffs, let's go, Johnny. Natty Helenas, hi to you as well. Great to have you on board. Everyone watching at home, give us a like, give us a cheeky subscribe if you aren't already. It's the Sam Fitzpatrick thumbs up.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, that's the like icon.
It is. Yeah, very
Press
good point.
not this thumb up, but the other thumb up.
Here we go, Sam. Who are you calling this one?
Oh, well, the top 3 I absolutely called in qualifying, didn't I? So I think those top 3 will be safe, and then I think behind that it will be probably Smith or Heron.
Well, Scott Yards in the chat, including with you. James looks rapid. You're not wrong. Can he transfer it across into race pace? Safety car is here. Let's get ready to go racing. The first of our semi-finals. We're green, Sam, and we're go, and we're already 2 by 2 by 2 on the run into 1. It's Sight, it's Larry, the 2 Astons, bang doors there. Just about fend off one another. another. Heron ahead of Garibaldi, our reigning champion, down into 4th right now.
Yeah, that's still good enough, but he is very tight. Tompkins was almost ahead of Buemi across the start line, and when the green flag came out, so just watch out in case he has to go into the pits on this first lap, because he was really running that tight, and iRacing will give him penalty if he was ahead when the green flag came out. Buemi stayed ahead after all, and so Tompkins will be furious if he has got a penalty from that. We'll see what happens.
But surely, Sam, if he's got a penalty, would he just, you know, drifted the car out wide, dropped it in the wall? As meanwhile, in the background here, Garibaldi coming under a bit more pressure at the hands of Aaron Smith. And if
oh, just ahead as well, and across the grass, and they're both across the grass as well. Tompkins is off.
Oh,
and,
they're all off.
And Smith is off as well. And now Silchak moves through up into P4.
What a move. Someone who stayed on the track there to capitalise. We spoke about this all day, Sam, of staying in the game, to be there to capitalise when this all kicks off. And well, Garibaldi, from being under a lot of pressure, now finds himself in 3rd and clear. Buemi leads. Heron 2nd, Sam. You had doubts about him. He left it late in qualifying, now finds himself at 2 spots from 4th where he started into 2nd. 1.2 seconds between Garibaldi and the Stalchik. The Stalchik got that bit of a gap right now, Sam. Look at that, because there's 4.4 seconds back to Adam Tompkins, C2 coming into here. Aaron Smith into 6th. Johnny Cullen still bringing up the rear of the field.
It was a dive from Archie, and was there a bit of contact? Well, I'm not sure what happened to Aaron. I think Aaron just sent it in too deep, honestly, and then 3 of them missed it, didn't they? Because I think Cullen went wide as well. And you can see how much time they've lost, Tompkins, Smith, and Cullen. That wasn't a secondary incident for them. That was just the slowdown that they were serving. And it's left the top 4 miles clear now. Neselchek surely will have enough. Tompkins will be getting close by the end of the race, but I doubt it will be enough. I think he would need an extra 5 minutes in order to get in touch. And so this could be the drivers that go through, the top 4 that go through. I mean, that just reminds me of, I mean, it's like watching sort of speed skating or something right there, where just someone zips through from the back pretty much because 2 other drivers collide in front.
A little bit loose there and a bit bumbly on corner exit from Jason Buemi. Got time in the bag though, and it's just all about making it through. You don't need to risk it for a biscuit here. Doesn't matter if you win, it doesn't matter if you come through in 4th, it just matters that you get through, as Archie Heron just clipping the grass on the outside there, almost drifting out wide, but gets away with it again. Sam, I'm getting a bit nervous by how much so many of these drivers that are pushing, and maybe just looking, maybe it's me just being a bit uncomfortable about this one. Nervous for them when there's no need to be. They've got it all in hand.
Just comparing the lap times between Neselchik and Tompkins. 0.8 of a second fast that last time out for Tompkins. He needs probably 4 laps in order to catch up to Neselchik. And he's got
4 laps?
3, I think. So he's not far off. Or, nah, it's 3. We've got 4 minutes to go in it. Oh, well, Adam, of course, had an extra lifeline after a collision on lap 1 in race 1. And Tompkins and Smith and Cullen all charging back up. They'll close the gap to Neselchik by the end. But it might just be a little bit short. The only advantage that they've got when it comes to driving, at least, is that they've got nothing to lose. So Adam is going to be pushing in this one 100%, not worrying one bit about the potential consequences of making a mistake.
You can see the concentration on Tompkins' face there.
Oh, a little bit of a
hello.
mistake there for Heron, and Garibaldi's going alongside. Are they going to fight this one?
They'd be wise not to. They'd be wise to yield here, Sam. And I think Heron, yeah, just yielding the position there to Garibaldi. And Heron's just looked that little bit loose for me, Sam, and just seems to be pushing that a little bit too hard when there's no need to whatsoever. There you go. Running deep once again. I mean, maybe just the occasion starting to get into him, but doesn't need to worry here. There's plenty of time to just, you know, in the bank to people behind them, and certainly back to Tompkins in 5th. Heron just needs to bring this one home. No fancy tricks, no need to push hard. Just get yourself in that final, young man, and then worry about it from there. once again, just pushing in hard. I mean,
this is a bit concerning, isn't it?
It
I wonder
is.
if he's hit the wall. I think he may have hit the tyre stack and damaged the steering. I wonder if we could get an onboard to see his wheel. Because look at this, Nestorchuk is right with him. And he's not going to let Nestorchuk go. And this is not what Nestorchuk needs. He was happy to stay behind him, but he is going to be able to get past. Is there going to be contact? Not quite. But this is amazing stuff now for Adam Tompkins. He's got a chance to get through after all, because Heron has got no chance of holding on with the damage that he has got. He will be caught comfortably by Tompkins by the end of this lap, and we've still got one more to go after this.
Hopefully we get an on board here. We can see, I mean, that front end is skating. Look, it's crabbing. That car is ever so slightly crabbing. So I think you've called this absolutely smack on. And he's clipped the wall somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing a replay of it now. Yeah,
Yes.
he did hit the wall on the inside tyre bail. We've seen a few drivers do it so far. We'll get a replay of that for you very soon on that one. But Tompkins is almost there. 8/10 of a second away, and Tompkins might just get his second lifeline of the day.
Oh, Sam, the clock is... Well, we're going to have white flag when they come across the line, aren't we?
There he goes.
Oh, no, and again, just late on the brakes, trying to defend the position. And Heron, it's all gone wrong for him. And this is the moment, the definitive moment, that you go clipping the tyre barrier, as we've had happen 2 previous occasions tonight, Sam. And that's such a shame for him after such a strong performance. Heroics in qualifying. And, well, Tompkins gifted a lifeline as well. There you can see just how much Heron fighting with the car.
And remember, it was Tompkins and Heron who came together on lap 1. I'm sure Tompkins would argue that it was Heron's fault that they collided. I think Heron would argue that he was alongside going into that same corner that, of course, Heron got the damage from into Hislops. So that would be particularly satisfying for Adam, who is not far away from Nestorchuk, but was never going to catch him realistically because we've only got half a lap to go. But this man, James Bremy, a driver who we are not familiar with, of course, drove for Altitude Esports, but someone who we haven't seen Apex Racing League, might be a member of the Academy, I'm not entirely sure, but we're not familiar with him whatsoever. But he is, dare I say, the favourite at this point because his qualifying pace was phenomenal and he has eased to this race victory.
Well, out of the final corner, and there you go. James Bremy taking the victory in a 1-2 for Aston Martin. Gariboli coming across the line in second. There you go, that weave. That's what he thinks about it. The weave across the line. And then it's going to be 2 Mercs in the form of the Seljuk. Having started in 6th, finishes 3rd, and Tompkins gifted that lifeline. Sadly, due to Heron, who's going to come across the line in 7th, clipping the wall, and it all falling apart for him. I mean, wow. What a turn up for Buxham. That looked like it was done and dusted for me, and
yeah, they
just
were
one tiny clip.
He was second as well. He was ahead of Gariboli even.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just too aggressive. Didn't hold back enough. And yeah, real disappointment there to miss out. But I think we might be able to have a chat in just a moment with James. But yeah, that was a very impressive performance from him. Once again, let's not forget so actually he just set the fastest lap of the race as well on the last lap at 34.9. He's the only man today who's got into the 34s, and he's done it twice now, both in qualifying and the race, which really does demonstrate.
Well, it's more impressive in the race, Sam, because you've got less time than you have in qualifying.
Yeah, and also the fact that he's like leading, he's got no incentive to push, and yet he's still setting those phenomenal lap times. So yeah, really impressive.
It's a real big message of intent, isn't it, to all the other drivers of, do you know what, I'm the person to beat here. You've got to raise your game. You've got to bring your A game here.
Well, of course, he's still got to perform it in that qualifying session. It helps a little bit that, of course, you know, as I said a couple of times, it's a 10-minute qualifying session, so there is a decent amount of time to set your lap times. It's not one shot. You know, you have got 4 attempts at setting that lap time. But yeah, I mean, Leo will certainly be aware now of that. You know, our favourite probably going into the day, just because, you know, he won last year. We're aware of his pace. But yeah, that certainly the gauntlet has been put down for him.
It is. We're just waiting last bit to speak to him. And well, Sam, we're just seeing that in the corner of my eye. I think we might be no, just being teased there. Sam, we spoke about your most favourite track, being Suzuka. Thank you, Dorsey, in the chat there for saying that one earlier. What's your least favourite track?
A least favourite circuit, Daytona, because it's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Daytona 24, the worst event of the year, did win it one time, I'd like to mention it. But yeah, it's a bit of a rubbish circuit, isn't it? Jimmy Fluke will certainly agree with me on that one, because he hates all Rovals, and I don't think that's very fair. I think some Rovals are pretty good.
Charlotte's good.
The one down the road, which is now a car park,
Yes.
Rockingham.
A great Roval.
It's
fantastic.
I wouldn't say it's a great road. It's like it's a triangle, right? It's Rockingham, I think. It's like a little bit of a weird format. But it's got of course, an infield in the middle as well. Used to host, I think, European Formula 3, but
British Touring Cars.
British Touring Cars, I think, visited there.
Great
so.
racing there. I remember a great race back in the wet many moons ago. You were probably a small boy, Sam, or something like that.
Yeah.
Tom Mail in the chat. Hi guys, chatting from my rig at home now, and about to do a 24-hour enduro. Was a stupid mistake breaking the suspension at the chicane, but that's racing, backing Reese to win.
That's good, that Tom's straight away. That's a good thing about sim racing, right? In real life, if you crash, you've got potentially a month until you get into the next race. Instead, Tom's just gone home and jumped into an
just
even
casually
bigger
going to
race.
do. Let's just do a 24-hour enduro.
Yeah.
Which you will absolutely hate, because you hate all.
No, yeah, I
races.
would not be doing that by any means. No.
I would be. I mean, but he's got clearly sense. That's Tom Mail.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. But the second semi-final is going to be getting underway fairly soon, Tim. And of course, you know, that first race win actually for James Bremy means that he will be winning one of these races, won't he?
He will be.
He might pick the keyboard.
He might
This
even
would
pick
genuinely be my choice.
Elgato Stream Deck Mini.
Or he might pick the Stream Deck Mini.
Nearly as mini as my iRating.
Yeah.
Bad news, Sam. I took part in a race the other day, and I gifted iRacing some more iRating once again.
You gifted iRacing.
Yes, and all the other drivers in that Porsche Cup race. I'm just the gift that keeps
What
giving.
are you on now? 1400?
I wish. I'd have a nosebleed. I was that high up, Sam.
Yeah.
It
He
was.
really does question why we are here.
It was 1300. Well, that is why we are here, because not
Yeah.
racing. That is the exact reason.
Yeah.
I think I may have dipped into 1200s now.
It's very embarrassing.
It's.
Let's.
Batty Helena is saying how many semis we've got. Well, as normal tradition, 2 semi-finals. As we've got, I do believe, a chat with Kevin Ellis Jr. from last year. Roll VT.
First of all, can you just show us which one of these trophies you own, or if you're all of them?
So the top two.
He's like the top two in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So the top two with the and George kindly made that diecast for us as well. So that was for the Porsche Carrera Cup GB title. Kindly made that for us. Obviously, we managed to get that done this year, which was really good to get that monkey off the back.
I love that. Right, if we come around here, so just around the corner, we can go into the retro games section where we might get a bit more. Oh, this is nice. And he's recording non-stop. Here he is, the camera. Lovely Lewis behind the camera. So, Kevin, for those that don't know, can you just tell us what big achievement you've done this year?
I mean, getting a win in the Porsche Taycan Super Cup was a big win. Obviously, second career win in the feature race, so that was really good to get. And obviously, the Carrera Cup GB title is definitely the highlight this year. You know, I was a little bit tentative moving here. Maybe the results would sort of drop off a little bit, just with it being a change in environment and so different to obviously being back home. But thankfully, I think the whole team is on a really upward spiral this year, and especially the last few months, the team is really beginning to sort of pick up. We've got a few new drivers in as well to give us a bit more strength and depth. So, yeah, I mean, the team's just coming from strength to strength. Having this open day today is just another sort of boost of morale for us, and yeah, hopefully we can keep the results rolling to the end of the year.
I like it. Fighting talk. So how long have you been involved in sim racing?
So I started out iRacing maybe 8.5 years ago, I think. But I spent the first sort of 2 or 3 years really doing oval racing for the most part. I was doing a lot of IndyCar and stuff like that.
sort of began to plateau a little bit and sort of achieve what I wanted to achieve. And then sort of looking at the road side of things to try and sort of build my rating up and joined the Apex Academy summer of 2016. Done that for sort of 5 or 6 months, got through the pro qualifying round that sort of ran from, I think it was like November through to January or something, it ran through the Christmas period. Got into the World Championship, and then 4 or 5 rounds in, a few slots opened up at ART, and the rest is history.
Very nice. What was it like, the recruitment process here? Was it, did they say yes or no immediately, or is it like a process?
To move into the Simpson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we had a sort of business plan set out, years ago to do this.
Yeah.
And obviously getting partnered with VRS, that made things a lot easier. That kind of moved things forward a couple of years for us. So me, Jamie, Pete were sort of core drivers at the time. We'd been around the longest, the most experienced. So and we were sort of at the top of the results at the time. So it made sense. We're all UK based as well. So logistically, it was a lot easier. And then we brought John in as well. He had just left school and was looking for a career path, and we were very thankful and very fortunate to get a uni programme for him as well. So he's able to do uni while working for us as well. And then we brought, obviously, Lewis behind the camera in to take over the social media, and Sam as well to help with the broadcast and stuff. So that was kind of how the 6 of us ended up living here.
What would you say to other enthusiasts out there that want to get a career in sim racing? What do they need to do? Where do they need to start?
It's really not easy. We're very fortunate to have this position. You definitely got to be backed by a good team. You've got to be at the top of World Championship events, and you've got to have a team manager who's business smart. Can get you in the right doors. Can make the team the right amount of money and not waste it on stuff as well. Alex is smarter, a much smarter man than me. That's why he's the head of the team, and I just drive the cars. But yeah, I mean, Alex has been the key to all this for us for the last sort of almost 10 years now. I think the team's been around since 2012. So.
Are you having fun?
I am having fun. I'm a bit disappointed that we're so far through the evening.
I am as well.
I really like this format. It's nice actually being able to interact with the drivers properly and the enthusiasm everyone has. I think everyone realised, well, it's quite a cool event, this, right?
It is.
The event as a whole, all open day, but I think in particular the tournament. I mean, you don't have, let's face it, much bigger LAN events than this in terms of the participation. You got 40 odd drivers taking part. It takes a while to cycle through everyone to give everyone a chance, but thanks to having so many rigs here at the Sim Centre, we can put on events like this, and it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity we have to put on something like this.
Thank you, Sam, I know you put in a lot of hard work to this event, and also thank you for destroying my segue there.
Hey, what was your segue? Sorry, what?
Have fun, have BAM.
Hey,
and
okay.
Sponsors of Apex Racing Team. Never mind, anyway. More pressing points, Sam. Beautiful wheel that you've alluded to earlier on. There we go. Let's get that in. The VRS rim. And if you want to come try this out, Apex Racing Centre, it is available to have a go on in real life. But that's one of the prizes that's up for grabs today to our winner.
And of course,
as well
that will
as wheelbase.
be accompanied with the wheelbase. The winner will win the wheelbase and the wheel rim.
That's unfortunately in a very heavily packaged box, and being men, once you take things out of the box, you're never getting it back in again.
Just a little bit of a reminder as well, some of the other prizes, the Corsair mouse is one of them, which is available. Of course, could well be picked by whoever wins this semi-final, of which the order we will go through in just a few moments' time, because qualifying is starting. But this mouse could go to the semi-final winner, or could go to any of the drivers from 2nd down to 8th who get into the final. So potentially, someone could take 2 mouses home, potentially. I don't know why you would do
well,
that.
2 hands, you could double action. I mean, you've got 2 hands there, Sam, and you've got 2 prizes on your side of the desk.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. The Stream Deck.
The Stream Deck Plus.
Sure. Yeah, there you go, Stream Deck Plus. This will also be available. Would you take the Stream Deck over the mouse? Or?
I already have a Stream Deck, but I don't have that version. I have the XL, and I was torn with that version.
Nice because you got the interface here, and you've also got, of course, the buttons, and you got the dials as well. It's not short on sort of equipment. We'll get that as close to the camera as we possibly can. But yeah, it's a pretty nice one. So big thanks to Elgato for providing these prizes.
Gresso saying in the chat, no prize for us. Well, if you had been here, you could have had a chance of winning something. I'm sure we'll have another one next year. And of course, free tickets as well.
Yeah. these events are fun.
Matty Helena saying stream PC and drive 2 PC. None of these work back in the chat. Saying Kevin is the best.
Which
well,
Kevin is this?
Kevin Ellis Jr.
Kevin S. Oh, of course.
But some may argue that Johan Half was at ESLR 1 at the this weekend.
What a performance from Johan. That was very good. I think
flying Frenchman.
Yeah, one of the most impressive performances that I think he's ever had. Yeah, it was absolutely mega that he managed to get to the final. But here is qualifying then for semi-final 2, and the order in the seeding order. Top seed, Will Dames. Second seed, Reese Carroll. Dare I say, I think Reese has looked unbeatable so far. So dare I say, I think Reese might be favourite for the pole position. Then it's Khalid Ramadan in rig number 3. Then it's the Nook Rodrigo, Axel Slipčević, Zane Khan, Jake Shuri, and John Derrick, rounding out the 8 drivers for this second semi-final.
Sam, there's some big names here. I just don't know.
I think Will and Reese are absolute. I cannot see them both not getting through.
I mean, Zane Khan, he was quick. I mean, Jake Shuri, I think, will go through, but then...
I think the Nook will get through, and I think Axel will get through as well.
Wow, we've got some times on the board, Sam. Good news for you and everyone watching downstairs and watching at home as well. Will Dames, 1:35.3, still some way short of the best time we saw last time out. And
best qualifying pole for the previous race, 34.8, remember.
There's Slipčević, just that little bit off pace in the open lap. Still time. We don't need to worry about that one. You know, it's a banker lap. Get one in there, because we've seen drivers not set laps until very late in qualifying, Sam. So, you know, sometimes it could actually be beneficial where we're getting to the business end of the evening here. Semi-final 2.
Oh, don't hit the wall.
He's just warming his tyres up, Sam, to
never
perfection.
shows any expression either.
I think
he almost crashed early on. And
Poker
he
faced.
shows no expression whatsoever. It's a very good thing to have as a driver, and I mean, you see it amongst the pros, is that they don't react that much. I know there's some exceptions, but generally, it's just a waste of time. You're losing concentration if you're reacting to something. It's best just to stay absolutely level-headed, concentrated, so that even when something bad does happen, you can then still make the best of it by reacting well afterwards.
Probably have to explain why I have such a shoddy iRacing. So
Yeah, that's one of the
you've
reasons.
driven me in the commentator's race.
You get angrier than anyone I've ever raced on iRacing. Tim comes across quite a nice guy, but don't bats for 17th
looks a
against
deceptive.
him, trust me.
Yeah, it looks a deceptive. There is Jake Shuri getting a time in, but I tell you what, Sam, with Reese Carroll as well, just going into second. Our early doors, Will Dames, I think that's just showcasing just how good of a lap. Slipčević, I said not to worry, proving why there. But Sam, second, third, fourth, how tight is that? And a fifth, I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw Jake Shuri definitely into that one. We've got just over a tenth separating second to fifth.
Yeah, it's
2 tenths. Well, that'd be risky, 2 tenths, isn't it? As there's John Derrick in there.
I think Reese has got a fair amount of improvement. I think his pole position time was like a low 35 earlier on. So I think
we're still slower than we were at this stage in semi-final 1 in terms of qualifying.
We are. Yeah, Nuke just lining up this one up. I don't think this was a quick time for him. I think he was just taking a deep breath before crossing the line and getting prepared. What's this
never
first
time
corner
deleted,
like?
Sam.
That's all right for him through turn 1. I think he certainly no expression from, and he's continued to push down cascades. And this is the second off track that you've got to be very careful of. Dare I say, I think turn 1 might be a little bit more tricky. Is he right? I think that was more than half the cars within the white line. So again, he seems to be pushing on. And that's a decent first sector, I think, for the Nook, although not a personal best.
No. That's what's crucial at this stage, Sam. I mean, the grid could be crucial here, but Dame's looking strong early on. We're into the second half of qualifying. Rodrigo, who we're on board with, and Khan, yet to set times. The first 2 laps being deleted due to track limits. And Oh, Sam, very close to those nasty, ghastly tyre barriers. But I think probably just the right distance away because he didn't hit them. So that would say he's done it absolutely perfectly into perfection. But can he close out this lap?
He's a bit wide here. I think he had to get out of the thoughts there. He just missed the apex slightly on the
Could
the
be
exit.
definitive.
I'm not seeing any...
Sam, big improvement there from Will Dames there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Half a second clear. Oh, gap. A gap.
What a gap. What a gap.
Rodrigo might be able to wedge himself in that gap, potentially.
Here we go. Yes, he... Oh, no, not quite.
Yeah, 3/10 off. So 6th place for Rodrigo. He's got one more lap to go. Yeah, this last lap will be it for him. And Zane will get one more lap in after this as well.
Still yet to set a time is Khan. Just heading through Druid, Sam. It's looking tough, and you can tell how hard he's pushing. Needs to remain calm. Time is still on his side, as you say. One lap left in the bank here. As we head out of Lodge Corner, up through Deer Leap. This curve, start, finish straight. And is it a lap time on the board? It's still not, Sam. This is going to be one or done. Oh, no, I think that's too far off the track. I think that could be qualifying done and dusted for him.
And Ramadan just moved up into 6th position as well. The car number 3, Dames just keeping it within the track limits. It seems that Carl was able to improve, but only by 9 thousandths. Seems like Reese is lacking something a bit out there. 35.6, that's 8/10 off. The best qualifying lap we've seen so far tonight.
I mean, he's saying when we spoke to him after his win in the quarterfinal, how he felt the Merc suited his driving style. I mean, maybe the McLaren just suits Dames more, and that's how he's able to be half a second late qualifying. But just want to allude to, Sam, a 10th.5 separating Derek to Rodrigo, 4th to 7th. Well, I say wow, there you go.
That's a good time from the Nurk. Well done.
Flying with the Aston there to get up onto the front row with Dames. Carroll down to the second row of the grid in 3rd. Pressure on against him right now.
And there's still improvements yet to come from Carol, Slipčević and Derek. They've all got time to complete their current lap.
This is what we love, Sam. A bit. Oh, there you go.
Oh, man.
Oh, surely there can't be an improvement from Carroll now after that.
No personal best sectors on this lap from Carroll, so I don't think it is.
Wow, Sam. Wow. Could he end up potentially falling from the second row of the grid, currently in 3rd, to come across the line? Hold tight, everyone, because in the dying stages of qualifying, who is going to improve? Well, he did actually improve, Sam. Look at that. Ever so slightly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Slipčević came into the pits, by the way. Derek, I don't think improved himself, so Carroll was able to stay in that 3rd position, which is a nice place to start. You don't want to start in 4th. Well, obviously you want to start in 1st, but like the top 3 is like a solid place. There is Dames on pole position, comfortable pole margin ahead of the Nook Rodrigo, who really performed right at the last. Then it's Reese Carroll, Axel Slipčević in 4th place, and I will just say once again I predicted the top 4 for this race. That were the 4 that I thought would get through. John Derek lines up in 5th. John looking very racy. I'm impressed by how quick John has been so far tonight. Then it's Jake Shuri, Khalid Ramadan, and Zain Khan, and then ignore 9th place. So that's the order for us for this race. And I mean, personally, Tim, I mean, what are we thinking in terms of the best moment of the race? Because of course one of our potential picks, and my pick personally, is Khalid. But I mean, I don't know if there's been any comments in the YouTube chat about any other ideas.
No, there's been nothing to dispute us. I think we may come down to an almost fist fight over this one. For me, I still side by. I'm going to be swayed into Khan. It's double overtake round the outside on the run-up to Druids, going back in quarterfinal 4.
I think I'm willing to compromise on that one. So I think we can go with that for now.
That's the
but
first
let's
time
see if something can be beat.
Well, we've still got the semi-final and the grand final. We've still got a chance for it to be beaten.
Yeah.
And with how close it was in qualifying for 5th through 7th, of course, top 4 do move on to the final. If you're lower than 4th, so 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, That's it. Game over. You're out. As we just wait for them to head off on the Porsche 911 safety car, Sam. Ooh, it's time to really dig deep here. It's time to really dig deep.
I think, I mean, who do you think is going to be the top 4? Because like I said before this race, or before qualifying, I thought this was going to be the top 4. Do you think there's going to be any upsets in this? I mean, maybe Axel, we don't know so much about him. We don't know if he can keep his bots all necessarily. But Axel's been pretty unflappable so far tonight. He's had some really strong results.
Solid.
Yeah, yeah, solid is a good adjective to describe his performance.
It is. For me, Sam, I think, excluding Will Dames, based on qualifying, I think this could be the most open of the 2 semi-finals.
I think that's
in terms of anything could go here.
And
we saw in semi-final 1 that big incident as well, and
you remember as well, Thanuk is quite a young driver as well, and we saw Archie make a mistake in semi-final 1.
He just clipped those nasty tyre barriers.
Maybe that's that slight bit of lack of experience perhaps in that scenario, so perhaps he could fall for that as well, Thanuk.
I mean, surely based on that, I should be a much better driver if it's based on experience. But hey, forget about that. Safety car in. Let's get ready to go racing. The second semi-finals. Oh, wow. Well, not getting away there whatsoever. Rodrigo caught napping. And that's allowed Reese Carroll up into second. And he banked up the whole of that left-hand side of the grid. And Rodrigo bumping. Oh, this big incident in the background there. It's cost 3 of our drivers. Shuri. Sorry, there's Ramadan Khan. And yes, Jake Shuri called up. Oh, no.
It's Dames.
It's gone.
Dames. And our leader, and an absolute shoo-in to move into the final, has gone. And it's all changed. It's Carroll leading ahead of Rodrigo, Slipčević, and Derek. And Dames has got some 11 seconds to catch. There is no chance of it making it through now.
Oh, Sam, have we decided this already? Our top 4 clear by 5.5 seconds. Wow. All decided on the first lap.
And
turn
I mean,
2.
Shuri involved in a crash on turn 1. He's still up 1 place. Same with Khalid as well, but I think they've probably got damage. And so these top 4, the only guys who haven't spun, haven't got damage so far in this race.
Well, let's take a look at some replays, Sam. This is the first part that took out the back 3, and oh, I mean, just a cacophony of incidents. And there's Dames. Wow, the McLaren just doing McLaren things there. Just the rear went on him, cold tyres.
Yeah, really. It didn't even seem like he was pushing that much.
No.
It just goes.
It wasn't like he'd fallen offline or something to maybe to cause it.
And Carroll will be questioning how he's in the lead right now. I guess he had a solid start, to be fair to Carroll. Awful start for Rodrigo. I'm not sure if it was even a case of him being caught napping, because it was so. It was almost though he was in too high a gear where he just didn't get away at all. And whoever started in 4th position was just waiting for him to get underway. It was Axel Slipčević, who now runs in 3rd place, who was in 4th, just waiting for Rodrigo to get underway. But yeah, they can just follow each other home now. Shuri is, what's Shuri's second times like?
Well, he was
all right,
but then I think he's going to have damage, surely, Sam, because
you would think, and that's another pun as well. Well done.
Fantastic. I didn't even read.
Shuri.
Didn't even think about
it's been
that.
A long broadcast day.
It has, and we've still got a final to come here on Apex Racing TV.
It was pretty clean though, Carl. That's alright.
Looks can be deceptive, Sam. Looks can be deceptive. I mean, Will Dames, he's too far down. 12 seconds off the lead. 10 seconds off Derek in 4th.
Get into the 34s.
No, why do it? Sorry, Will. Sorry, I thought you meant the top 4, Sam.
No. I mean, yeah, Will just needs to try to get like fastest lap of the night. Well, I mean, oh man, I mean, of course I didn't cover last year, but I don't remember last year being quite this dramatic. Where, because we saw it with another driver earlier on, didn't we? And just missing out. I think it was Tom Mayle, wasn't it? Who really should have progressed from his quarterfinal and missed out. And that's the second big one where there's a driver who absolutely should have progressed, who isn't doing so.
Well, good news, Sam. It's not just the curse of the commentator, it's the curse of the chat tonight. I'll Helenas. Let's go. Will James. Let's go. And then, well, furthermore, let's go Dames. And Scotty Oz 781 saying Dames looking strong to take semi-final 2. Well, you know how that one turned out. Yeah, it wasn't quite the curse of the commentator. Curse of the chess, I think we'll go with that one. THR Simsport saying, is there a prize for the biggest moment? Because surely that's in the bag for me.
It tends to be positive moments where someone's excelled and done well, not crashed. And so, yeah, probably won't quite win that one. But keep an eye out. We do appreciate the pointing out of big moments because, yeah, that's the type of drama we're looking for, but just in a different form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just realistically got 3.5 minutes to fill here, Sam, because this is it done. I'm surprised Dames hasn't caught at all because he would have not had any damage. Shuri and Ramadan and Khan have definitely got to have had damage. I mean, varying different amounts. So,
yeah, everyone's still running, aren't they? I'm surprised no one had to go back to the pits. Khan just having a slight off as well, but just track extending a little bit, I believe. But I think the biggest surprise for me, honestly, probably John Derrick. I think he has driven absolutely brilliantly as John. A driver who used to race in the Apex Racing GT Championship, and that's not the GT3 trophy, that's the GT Championship. He used to run GTE cars, and John was one of the very early drivers in that. And it's really cool to see him around for this event. And yeah, he is doing absolutely brilliantly. I think in his first race as well, John, he wasn't exactly... Well, he finished 4th, to be fair, in his heat. And then he finished in 4th position in his quarterfinal. And he's going to finish in 4th position in his semi-final. So he's done the Ben Gregory from last season, where you finish right on the cusp in every race.
So all you need to do, Sam, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're first or fourth. If he finishes 4th in the final,
that would be very impressive.
Oh, that would be... That uber consistency. That would have been. Sam, killer question coming into the final. Pineapple on pizza?
Oh, well, this is another one of the questions that Tim was asking people. And do keep an eye on the Apex Racing Sim social media platforms as well, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and probably the Apex Racing team social media accounts as well for kind of videos of those questions being asked. I know that Mr. Samsoid said that it was all right to put pineapple on pizza, and personally, I'm very much free. Whatever people want to put on a pizza, they can put on a pizza. I'm not going to say what people can do. I wouldn't choose to personally. I have no issue with other people. Sorry to be very pragmatic.
Comfy on the fence there, Sam.
Very comfy on the fence.
Good.
What were you saying, Tim?
I'm glad.
Have you got strong opinions about
massively. On a really meaty pizza, a bit of pineapple there, just cuts through it. Absolutely beautiful. Almost as seeing that white flag fly on that left in semi-final 2. Closing things out here. But Rodrigo just staying on the back end. And the fastest lap of the race last time around as well for Fennick Rodrigo. But we spoke to Carroll, obviously, after his race win in his quarter-final, Sam, and he said he wasn't really pushing it, just wanted to bring it home. Looks like that's exactly what's happening here.
And interesting as well, I think Carroll's going to keep his same rig as well for the next race, because he's rig number 2 at the moment, and I think the winner of semi-final 2 gets rig number 2 for the final. So he's on those ultra-wide monitors rather than the triple screens. That might be a little bit of a help for him, the fact that he doesn't need to move and can quickly transfer over to the next session once we've had a little bit of a natter to him, I'm sure.
Well, Sam, only a few corners to go. What surprised me maybe is just the way the top 4 have spread out. I mean, I'm guessing they just don't, you know, taking the view of don't need to bother too much, so let's just bring this one home. Winner Reese, Carroll, Rodrigo second, Slitrovic and Derek are going to make it through in the transfer spots. Late on there, Will Dames getting past Ramadan for 6th place, but it's all in a veil. No McLarens through whatsoever. Shuri and Dames are out along with Ramadan and Khan. Wow, Sam. Wow, I mean... What can we say about that one?
What
can we say?
A massive surprise that Dames made that mistake. He looked so solid.
Yeah.
And he, you know, Dames was the man who was putting in the qualifying times lap after lap after lap, absolutely no problems. And yeah, then makes that mistake.
In qualifying, he just blew everyone away. If it hadn't been for Rodrigo to bridge the gap, he was still 3/10 slower than what Dames was. But it was all to avail. Didn't mean anything, because when we got down to Cascades, it all came cascading down, didn't it? On poor Will Dames.
It sure did. A huge disappointment for him. As we might be able to have a chat with Reese Carroll now. Reese, can you hear us all right?
Yep.
Excellent stuff. Well, congratulations there. After qualifying, I imagine there was a little bit of a doubt in the mind, but that first lap very much put your mind at ease, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know Will was fast as proved in qualifying, but I didn't really expect him to lose it. So I just thought, okay, well, I've just got to lead and, you know, keep out of trouble, I guess, and not overly hard, so I can just get through to the final. That's what this race was just about. Not pushing so hard, just trying to get to the final, really.
You're in the same rig for the next race. Do you think that's going to be a bit of an advantage?
I should think so. I mean, I'm pretty used to this rig by now, so hopefully I can transfer directly over to the final. So hopefully no issue.
Definitely. And yeah, just one last question as well. You know, it's going to be James Bumey alongside you in rig number 1. He's maybe, you know, the fastest driver going into this round. Do you think he's the main challenger, or do you think Leo, after what he did last season, is your main competition?
Well, I can't really say yet. I mean, yet to see everyone else's pace. A lot of these guys I haven't driven with yet, so I'm just going to see it to qualify, really, because you never know.
Well, I think that's definitely the right mentality to have. This is going to be a very entertaining final, Reese, and we hope you the best of luck. And yeah, we'll see how you get on.
Thank you very much.
So that was Reese Cowell there. And yeah, he doesn't need to get out the rig. He'll be straight away from one session to the other. Wouldn't even be surprised if whilst he was talking to us, he was going from one session to the other. Let's get all the practice that he can possibly do. And wow, he's maybe... I know, would you say he's the second favourite? I honestly think James is almost... Well, who would you say is the favourite, Tim? Because I say James Bromey is the favourite, followed by Leo, followed by Reese, from what we've just
Sam, the stats don't lie. What we saw in qualifying from Bromey, the only driver to get into the 34s, he's not done it once, Sam, he's done it twice.
And he's got 4 attempts at it in qualifying to deliver that same time.
I mean, Reese Carroll there, just I think just trying to play it down. Oh, I haven't seen this bit. I haven't seen what's going on. He has. He's not daft. Of course he's seen.
Don't they, Tim? I'm sure everyone
do,
is
Sam.
browsing around the monitor at the moment, watching us, following what we're saying, because after all, Tim, we do know what we're talking about, or like to pretend that we do. And we know we've been chatting a lot of positive talk so far about James, and we'll see if he can deliver, or whether it's a bit of a damp squib, and maybe Leo and Reese end up fighting it out for the race win. But of course, they've got a chance, and our other drivers in that final, Thinuk, Rodrigo, Miroslav, Nastorchik, Axel Slipčević, Adam Tompkins and John Derrick, our last driver. All of them will be getting prizes like this. Our race winner, of course, will get the wheel base and wheel rim, and then the others, from 2nd down to 8th, get first choice of what Elgato and Corsair equipment they want. So some amazing prizes being available for the drivers.
Let's not forget, Sam. Let's swish it round. We are going to find out who's going to walk away with this beauty here of a wheel rim, but also the wheel base to boot as well, courtesy of our friends at VRS. Big prizes. Places mean prizes, not points tonight, Sam. And wow. I mean, I'm left speechless, so I think that's a good point to head to
a man who never is short on words, David Sampson, otherwise known as Samsoid. Fantastic he's around today, but we also had a chat with him as well last year, and let's have a look at that interview.
So now joined by pro streamer
Thank you.
David Sampson. Welcome up. How are you finding it today?
Yeah, really good. I'm solidly impressed. Bunch of nice people, nice setup, and it's just what I love, so it's been nice to just hang out and experience it. this close. So yeah, the rigs, the wheels, the pedals, it's an experience.
It definitely is. It's looks absolutely spectacular here today, doesn't it? But I mean, how do you fancy your chances today?
First race went well. I held my own, did no mistakes, kept it clean, and that's partly good. But seeing some of the lap times, I need to get the quali right. Overtaking here is really difficult. I need to just nail the quali, which I can do, but it's this track, this car, it's a lot of small things lead to a big finish. So I'm hopeful.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, with your streaming background, you know, YouTube videos, someone who's maybe starting out in their, you know, looking to make content, what's the best way to go about it?
You got to love it, because you can't be thinking about short-term goals. If you're thinking about, you know, subs or money or anything like that, it's going to be demoralizing, because in the short term, those things aren't going to happen. So I got through it because I just wanted to do it and be a part of it, and I had the opportunity that I could attack it full time. But yeah, so love it, enjoy it, because then you can go long with it. Have a long-term plan, not a short-term. You know, you're not going to be making money, so you've got to enjoy it, because it's tough out there. You know, to keep the hours up, to keep the content up, to keep doing the same thing you love every day. I'm not saying it grinds, but you need to every now and then dig deep and remind yourself why you're doing it, and not get so
bogged down by the everyday, almost.
Yeah. So you got to find, that's why I come back to the love. You got to love it.
Definitely, and well, who doesn't love sim race, especially this sort of community?
Correct.
But what's your favourite piece of content you've ever made?
Whoa.
Killer question. So many bits to think through of all time.
It's probably my field of view video on YouTube, because it's pretty much how people know me. I wish they knew me as a driver, and I do drive a lot nowadays. Last couple of years, obviously, it's been more known for it. But people know me for my calculations and settings and getting set up. So, and I love hearing feedback of people who got set up correctly and got going better. And I've even had a couple of people here just thank me for that video. So that.
Well, you can add another one to that list, because my first introduction to iRacing, first video clip that I watched when I got started, was your field of view video. It's been watched so many times, but it's helped so many people.
Oh, that's good to hear. I genuinely did that video. As I said, no short-term goals. I didn't want to do anything. I struggled in the beginning time. That maybe I got the settings right, but I didn't have the understanding on what was happening within iRacing, because it's asking for just dimensions without explaining. So, and I know lots of people have different monitor sizes, different amount, different heights, different distances. So I wanted to teach people what they were setting and why, and get it right for them. So I've always believed in, you know, I like teaching. I've always enjoyed that side of it.
And the fastest lap competition today, very random combination. We know legends, not kill. How you fancy your chances of that? Because that is a really random one as things go.
Well, I'm finding out now what the challenge was. We run hot lap challenges in the community like once every couple of weeks, and I've never won one of my own hot lap challenges.
Maybe that's a good thing. You know, no bias, you know, so there's no cheating going on.
Correct. I'll do my best. It's probably one of my weaker points is I'm more of an in-the-groove driver. I like repetition, so that comes from practice. So we'll see. I'm going to try my best and have fun, but yeah, I've never been a hot lapper, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see how you get on. Thanks for your show. David Sampson, the streamer. Welcome back, and do you know what? In that clip, Sam, I spotted a wild Leo Garibaldi in the background. Maybe
he's always in the background of a lot of the webcams, isn't
he
as well.
Yes.
Like whenever he's not racing, he's always keeping an eye on everyone. He's very enthusiastic as Steve.
Late to the party in the chat, Paul Lang. Tuned in to see how his teammate was getting on. Yeah.
He'll be in the final, I'm sure. He's got great pair.
Background, as mentioned.
Maybe he'll be up here in just a few moments' time, because if he wins, we will be having a chat with the winner. Also, of course, lots of prizes to be dished out later on, so anyone watching along downstairs, don't let the top 8 leave, because we want to give them some mice and all other Corsair and Elgato prizes before they leave. So yes, do not close the doors, and yeah, we will dish out those by the end of the evening.
Mark Fletcher in the chat, I think, has summarised this very, very nicely, Sam. He says, this is going to be a wild final.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's wild throughout, but it's clean as well. That's what I'm looking for. That's the combination that we all want.
Clean.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, currently the drivers are just starting their qualifying session at the moment. They're just starting their first flying laps, and this is where it really matters because, you know, James is very good, James is very quick. This is where he's got to perform it now and dip back into those 34s, which you have got to feel if you can get into those 34s, that would be enough for pole position, surely. Unless someone else can up their game, which is very possible because Leo wasn't a whole long away from that.
He wasn't, Sam. He wasn't. But there are dark horses to watch here. For me, in the form of Sliptrovic and Nostalgic. I think that, and also Rodrigo.
They are. I think they're friends as well. Nostalgic and Sliptrovic.
Yes,
they
you're
were
right.
around. They were like the first guys through the door.
Well, exactly, and that's what I love, Sam.
And yeah,
Commitment to the
literally
cause.
10 o'clock, immediately straight through the doors, all signing up. They were keen not to be in the same race as one another as well. Of course, as it's been whittled down, they've had to be eventually, and so that might be an advantage. The fact that they are mates, and they are next to each other as well. They are rig 5 and 6, so
Sam.
they'll be on the triple monitors, but be sat about a foot away from mine.
Maybe bit of team friend tactics. Bit of, you know.
Might need to do that as Gariboli first across the line. So 35.7, so that's going to be improved on. There's going to be plenty more improvements by the end of the session. Rodrigo matching that, Carol up there as well. But I think it does take a couple of laps to get in these quick times, doesn't it? I think the fastest first lap we've seen so far tonight is a 35.3. I think that may have been from Dames. But I think they
hotter
generally
track
gain a
temperature than we've seen in all the qualifying so
That's
far.
a very good point, actually, isn't it? It's up to 20 degrees. Gosh, that's
Scorchio
two
comparison.
degrees warmer than what it's been the whole time with these dynamic sessions that we've been hosting. But yeah, maybe just a little bit higher air temperature, I think, is the reason. Rather than 18 degrees Celsius, it's 20.
2 degrees hotter, but yet there are only 3 degrees of separation. I'm sure there's going to be some link or polling pun in that. John Derrick has gone out late compared to everyone else. And so he will get in, I believe, Sam, by my maths, 1 lap less.
Interesting tactics here from John. I'm not sure if it's going to
My
pay on,
games?
but,
I mean...
well, of course, this is the man who has scraped his way through every race so far. And, of course...
consistently made his way through, Sam. Consistently.
Yeah.
4th in every single race. Batioleta saying in the chat, would be funny if Leo wins this year as well. Don't you agree?
I just...
No, I don't agree it'd be funny, Sam, because I think that'd be consistent. You know, retaining his title.
Yeah, I've just done a Google as well. Of course, it was Stephen Bradbury who managed to scrape his way through every stage of the Winter Olympics back in Salt Lake 2002, and then won as everyone ahead of him crashed out. I'm hoping that John is going to do the same thing here. We need a Bradbury moment, please. That would be the best moment, I think, in Apex Racing team.
Oh, Sam Reese Carroll in the pits.
Yes, and Buomi, of course, just improving his time as well out in the lead. But yeah, having to go back to the pits there. Or maybe he hit the wall.
Only a 35.6 though, Sam.
Yeah, it's just not as quick the track now, is
I
it?
think it's slower pace. Still cool ambient temperature, Sam. We're just scraping up to 20 degrees Celsius. It is cloudy, clear, bit of sun in the air, but it is cloudy. There's Litrovic, one to watch out for. Also, Sam, I mean, yeah, comparable pace. His good friend, Nostalgic. However, Slitrovic in the Aston, Nostalgic in the Merc.
This is a nice time, by the way, from Buomi. He's set a couple of green sectors so far on this lap, so this could be dangerous that he could improve. Also, Sliptrovic as well, improving a lot on this lap. This might get him up on the front couple of rows.
Even so, I mean, Sam, our top 4, 10th and a half, separating them all. That is how close, how tight it is. But we're going to see that gap grow here. Slitrovic comes across the line. Any improvement from him? Oh, Adam Tompkins late to the party and straight in there against Buomi. Half a 10th behind him. Slitrovic, did he go faster, Sam? No, he didn't.
maybe it was a 1x, because yeah, I'm seeing a load of personal best sectors from him, and yet, yeah, nothing was posted seemingly. But yeah, great work there from Tompkins. He was so close to not getting into the A final, but he's right there. And our top 5, a 10th.5 separating them. What a finale we've got for this open day event. And they've still got time as well. We're going to have this set of times, and then we're going to have one more set of time. They've got 2 more laps to set, basically. Or most of the drivers do.
10th.5, Sam, across our top 5. But as we saw in the previous race, Sam, when there's tight times, it means it's uber competitive, and that means that they're all fighting for the same millimetre of tarmac. And that's where it gets tricky. And incidents happen.
This is looking good for Garibaldi. Couple of personal best sectors. Also personal best sector for Tompkins on his latest lap. Albeit only one of them. I think Garibaldi's the most likely to improve of all the drivers right now.
Let's find out, Sam. Heading towards closing out. It's going to be their penultimate lap for some of our drivers. Well, Marcelinus, he's dipped in the chat with his prediction. He's saying
for Garibaldi right now. This could be good enough for pole position, is it?
Yes, it is!
By 10th.5. And the defending champion has performed. That's the end of his qualifying session. And it's now for the rest to chase. What can Buemi do? Being the fastest man all day, can he perform when it matters? It doesn't look like it. He's just a little bit short. And I don't think he's got enough time to complete his next lap. I think he's going to be a few seconds short. What about Reese Cow? He needs to be higher than 5th to have a chance at the race win. Can he go up the standings? No, he cannot either. He went a fair bit slower.
3 seconds,
so we are just waiting for Tompkins. Tompkins and maybe Slipčević are the 2 drivers who can still improve, along with, to be fair, Nestorčík as well. He's also out there on his last lap.
Last moments, on to the brakes. Into his lots for the final time from Adam Tompkins. Needs that big lap, needs to find a 10th.5 if he wants pole here in the final, up the hill, underneath the Advan Bridge, towards Water Tower, and then lob it into Druids. Hold on tight the whole way around. Has he got the exit? It's looking good to me, Sam.
Personal best sector 5, but no personal bests in the first 4 sectors.
Oh, is it going to be enough? Needs the absolute giga final sector. Oh, slides it wide. I think that could be it. Gone, Sam.
Yeah, I don't think this will be enough for him. He's still pushing as much as he can. Doesn't look particularly happy with it. He'll cross the line, and it is an improvement, but it remains in 2nd position. Now, Rodrigo, he's not going to quite reach the line. Slipčević crossed the line. I think he may have improved on that last effort, but stays in 6th place, and that will be it. Well, what a qualifying session. And it was Garibaldi who performed. Buemi wasn't able to perform at his absolute best. Maybe it was just the track temperature which really brought out the best in Garibaldi, and that is some time. And he is 8 minutes away from winning the 2nd open day, which would be an amazing achievement considering the quality of drivers we have had at both of them. But there is Garibaldi on pole position alongside Adam Tompkins, who has come from the death twice already tonight, but this maybe is his biggest challenge yet to overhaul that 2nd place start. Then it's James Buemi, Thinuk Rodrigo, Reese Cow, Axel Slipčević, Miroslav Nestorčík, and John Derrick rounding out the top 8. Still looking for that Bradley moment.
Buemi not fastest, Sam, when he needed to be. Is it just cracking now at the final hurdle? Garibaldi knows how to win this tournament, as you said, Sam, and we've said all night. Reigning champion. He's done it before. He's been here, sat in those regs, and made it work. Reese Carroll, I mean, he will surely want to win because he will not want the whole car journey home being ribbed by his brother.
Well, I think he's hanging out tomorrow actually with his brother as well.
Oh, there you go. Well, either way. Well, yeah, doesn't want it either way. I mean, any of those top 5 realistically based on qualifying, but as we've seen, Sam, something can happen, and it could be. This is up for grabs for anyone. Any of these 8 could be walking home winner. Well, one of them will be for sure. But who is it going to be? Predictions in the chat now. Let us know who you think will walk away the winner of the 2023 Open Day here. Apex Racing to come through the final corner on the formation lap. Safety car is in, and for the final time this evening, let's get ready to go racing. And Alton Parkers, we're green, we're go, and not necessarily the best to start. A bit of conservative side by side for second place, but it is Leo Garboli who streaks away, and already 7 attempts clear of the field as they're all still side by side. So we head down into Cascade, so they're just going to slow each other up. They need to sort themselves out early on, otherwise Gary Burley's going to head off into the distance, and this is going to be his for the taking. But no real movement other than Reese Carroll dropping one place. Axel Slipsevich up into fifth.
And they're still battling with one. Another car might be able to return this position. Every bit of track position is so costly at this point. And now he's off the circuit. Slipsevich, he will drop back to the rear of the field. But Brumi was so close to getting past Tompkins through turn one. There was a bit of contact between the two of them. It held them both up, but Tompkins was able to hold on. And whilst you want to work together, having that second place is so important. And now there's been contact behind, and he's hit the inside wall. And there's contact for others as well. There seemingly was a tap on the back of Tompkins' car, dare I say, from Bremy, and that forced Tompkins into the inside tyre bale. It's a little bit tricky to call, but it looked like there was contact before the proper instance started, and it's now a 2-second lead for Leo Garboli.
Bremy into the pit, Sam. That's him, done and dusted. He's out of the equation here. Wow. We did wonder, would it be a big moment that would define this race? And while it's happened on the first lap, however, that gap, Sam, is not necessarily growing. And Gariboli just losing a couple of attempts. Rodrigo, nothing to lose. The Stalshik up into fourth, Sam, at 3 spots. I did question whether he could pull something out of the bag, and looks like it's happening here. He's got a chance of being on the podium.
This would be some result for him. It gets an extra position on the pro as well. Could be getting some very nice equipment for himself. Dinuk is closing the gap though, isn't he? He's got the gap down to 1.6 seconds. Here was so was there contact? I don't know. I think he just lost it by himself, didn't he, Tompkins? I don't think there was contact from Bumi into the back of Tompkins before Tompkins hit the inside bale. I don't know how you saw that, Hampton.
I don't think there was any contact either. On board with Slitrovich, though. Sorry, Nostalgic even, sorry. Looking go right from the outside, Sam. That'll be cheeky there. And oh, there's contact. And that is Reese Carroll off. Wow, Sam. I mean, had the car fully alongside there. Neither of them yielding whatsoever.
It seemed like he kept part of his car alongside, didn't it? Honestly, and Carroll maybe just wanting to close the door, wanting to get ahead, because he knew once he had to give up the apex for that second part of the corner, he was going to struggle to make the position. As Derek's up to 4th place. This is absolutely a Bradbury moment coming on here, but he might lose the position to Slipčević. These two identical livery cars. Ah, they're both into the wall. Slipčević moves through Derek into the wall, and that's a monumental crash. A monumental crash. And we've got pretty much half our drivers gone in this final now. Just 4 remain.
Just 4 remaining, Sam. And, well, 3 spots on the podium, but Slipčević is well down here. So this is the defining moment. Carroll just, well, did he? He just
he was
kept
always there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he never backed out of it, and rightly so. He had, you know, a quarter of his car alongside Carroll. But all while that's happening, Sam, Rodrigo is taking time. Look, that gap has come down by half a second.
A little bit. He took quite a bit out on the previous, on lap 2. And Thinnock's not got anything to lose now. Great performance from Thinnock. Turned up last year, one of our youngest drivers as well. And he's really improved and is a very, very fast driver. But I think Garboli's got enough right now. I think he's looking secure. And dare I say, he's the most... or the least error-prone driver of everyone is Gariboli.
He's been consistent.
He's been so consistent across 2
It's how he won it last year.
Tournaments. Yeah.
Stayed out of trouble. And well, we had a big moment in the final last year. It's no different here in 2023. Another big moment, and Garibaldi just starting to pull out that gap, Sam. He's just pulled a couple of tenths on Rodrigo. I mean, Rodrigo's just got to throw caution to the wind, go for this if he wants to stand any chance of winning, because Garibaldi's just, yeah, he's lapping this one up. Doesn't need to worry. Nice and easy. The pressure is on everyone else behind him. Wow. I mean, we wondered whether it would be dramatic, and it has been.
Yeah, sure has been. On that last lap, seemingly fairly maintaining. In fact, actually, Garibaldi was able to open up the gap by 3/10. Nasselchik was set the fastest lap of the race, but the fastest clean lap of the race. Garibaldi was actually faster, but picked up a 1x seemingly. But they're all quite separated out now from one another. And it's just a case of just making sure he keeps the concentration. Garibaldi, do I say this is going to be a very happy podium? I think Rodrigo might think, you know, if I'd improved by 0.2 of a second in qualifying, maybe I could have won the overall event. But considering that he starts in 4th place for this final, I think he's got to be pretty happy with that. Garibaldi obviously is going to be delighted with the race win, and Miroslav managing to go from 7th up to 3rd in all of this, and yeah, it's really been a fantastic rookie to the tournament. Our highest placed debutant from everyone tonight.
Yes. Well spotted there, Sam. I mean, what a debut. On the podium, in the final, and looking to finish there comfortably. Some 6 seconds even clear of his good friend Axel Slipstrovich, who's going to come home, well, in 4th. But the worst you can finish is 4th here. Carroll, Derek, Tompkins and Bramey. I mean, Bramey, Sam, after being the fastest all day long, it got to the final and it all fell apart. We've had big names fall by the wayside in each of the races so far today. I mean, Dames we lost in semi-final 2, who looked comfortable, from my eyes, to make his way through to the final.
I mean, you wonder where Dames would be. I mean, I think this top 5 have been super close in this A final. And I think Dames would have been right there, wouldn't he? Would have been
A final?
You
can tell you're used to the heat racing format.
Final.
Wait, there's no A final or B final here.
It's just the final, and yeah, I think he would have been part of that top 6, and it would have been very close. Maybe Heron, maybe. What Heron would have done.
Yeah.
I think he would have been there or thereabouts a bit. Of course, if he hadn't have got through, Tompkins wouldn't have got through. So
yes,
you know,
it's true.
It would have still been like a group of top 6. But
I mean,
man, this man has been absolutely immense. Like to be like a 20% favourite maybe for both events and to win them both is an amazing achievement, and it really does demonstrate that Leo is the coolest man in the building, honestly.
He is. He is, Sam. As he's just coming down to the final turn to make it, Sam. 2 wins from 2 events. Leo Garibaldi, you are the champion. Wow, you've done it again. Congratulations in epic style. The weave, just stick it in the wall. Nobody cares because you've won here today. What a race.
What a performance. 1.6 seconds clear in the end. It was fairly comfortable, but it was all done on that qualifying lap, wasn't it? He got faster and faster, and just on that I think 6 or 7 minutes into that qualifying session, manages to find that extra 2/10, and that was enough. And that was pretty much where the race was decided, because once the guys behind him started fighting in that A final, that was enough. And very soon, Tim, we'll be able to have a chat with him in person.
We will be indeed, Sam. I mean, wow. I think I know I want to speak to him. I know you do as well. We decided off there. There's only one way to sort this. Rock, paper, scissors.
Obviously. And it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes, on shoot.
Okay.
You ready? Nice and high. So everyone at home can see what you pick. There's no debate in this. Right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. See which way this is going. It's like Sam versus... Right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, there you go. You win. Do you get...
I will be having a chat with Leo in just a few moments' time then. Yeah, incredible stuff from him. And of course, well, we'll be able to present him The wheelbase that he's already got.
Yes, this has worked out really well, this, hasn't it?
I'm not sure if he's got the wheel rim necessarily.
I mean,
might do.
so good, he can own it twice.
So good, he can own it twice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think, well, already he is up here.
As
so
I lost Sam, I will mute myself.
Tim taking his rightful position away from the commentary desk and will be replaced by a far more talented driver, and a driver with far more hair as well than Tim, will be joining us. Yeah, so Leo will come onto stage and join us on the stage now. I'll hand this headset to you, and well, congratulations on another title win. I mean, that's incredible, because to do it twice against such a competitive field is an incredible achievement.
Thank you very much. I mean, the biggest thing was qualifying, because it was so close at the end, so it was just about getting that good. I was a little bit worried because initially I was starting to struggle. I got a few 1Xs, stuff like that. But then I just let the tyres cool and just go for it, and I ended up being, I think, 2/10 up. So.
Yeah, it was mega, because honestly, going into that final, we thought James was maybe the favorite because he was the one guy who'd got into 34s so far during the evening. But it just seemed like you kept your nerve a little bit better than the others. Do you think the fact that you have experience of this event already helped you in that fine moment?
I mean, I've done more LAN. I don't know how many LAN he's done. I mean, it was just about getting the lap in, really. Whoever did that would be the winner, really. Because then you can get a good start, and then people behind fight each other.
And it seemed like the track temperature was a little bit warmer as well in that final. Like did you feel that at all in the car?
Oh yeah, it was definitely more slippery, which I'm glad I got in the rig as quickly as possible, because it kind of gave me more time to feel what that was like. So.
Definitely. And how did you find the ultra wides today compared to the triple screens that you used last year?
I still think I prefer the triples, but they aren't bad. They're nice and crisp, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool equipment that we got, and of course the equipment that you have won as well. Now I believe you already got the wheelbase. Have you already got the wheel rim as well?
I don't have the wheel rim. I have something else.
Exactly.
But...
So you will get the wheel rim and a wheelbase as well for your efforts today. How did you find the wheel rim? I mean, in terms of the buttons and the options on it, like, you think you're going to be using it?
It is still nice. I mean, I'll probably use it 50-50, because at the moment I'm running the GSI, which is basically the polar opposite. It's a massive truck rim, but I do quite enjoy that as well. So I think they'll both have their applications.
Definitely. Awesome. And I mean, what's next for yourself when it comes to sim racing? I mean, what events are you eyeing up? Obviously, besides the 2024 Open Day. But before then, what else are you looking forward to taking?
Well, at the moment, I've just been need to get my rating up, really, and just focusing on sim cups, all the events, stuff like that. I mean, mostly it's just putting more time in for that stuff, so it's just about that, really.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. It's an amazing performance to be able to get another race victory. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy your prize.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, we will hand back over to Tim just for the final few moments of the broadcast. And well, there's the handover as well, with the wheel rim being won by Leo. But yeah, if we want to change, swap rounds, and yeah, Tim takes back his position for the final few minutes of the broadcast. We know it won't be too harsh to Tim, but that's your winner, Leo Garboli, right there, and a two-time Apex Racing Sim Open Day race winner. And of course, just a reminder as well, everyone else who was downstairs and you know, taking part in that final, you will win prizes as well. So stick around, and we're going to hand over prizes like this to whoever can take them.
And that one as well.
Yes, and of course we have still got the pedals to assign as well, haven't we, Tim?
Great point, Sam.
And so everyone who's taken part today, or even in the tournament, but everyone who's raced. Why do I keep on saying that? Everyone who's turned up today is what I mean.
They're all in the bowl, the magical bowl.
Are in this, and it doesn't look like many names, but I think it's like 45 names. Basically to be assigned randomly. So I think you might be able to hear that. There you go. That's the sound of paper. And soon we're going to hear the sound of someone winning some BRS Direct Force Pro pedals, a very neat prize, including the clutch as well.
Yeah.
Tim, would you like to pick out a name?
Here we go. Drama. We don't have a drum roll, but thank you. I've got it, Sam. I've got it.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Who is it? Who
The
has
big
won?
moment.
Please don't be Leo.
We're safe. It's not Leo. That's
Okay.
good. We're
all good
okay.
people.
We're okay.
He can't have more VRS equipment. He's got the whole stock.
He has. He has already completely set that it is. Matty Wild, no less. You are the recipient of some beautiful VRS pedals.
Well done.
Oh,
That's
Matty Wild.
a real nice prize. Like I said before, like genuinely the pedals are really, really good from VRS. Of course, do check them out. If you want to get your own sets at apexracingsim.com or at vrs.racing. So yeah, absolutely very, very well done. Very well done to Matty. We might be able to hand them over. I'm not sure if Matty's still here. I don't think he got very far in the tournament. I don't think he was in the quarters.
No.
So he may have left, but I'm sure we'll get to him at one point or another. So yeah, pretty amazing. That's our prizes pretty much handed out, Tim. And almost the end of the day.
Maybe the postman can be like us, Sam. Can always deliver.
Always deliver. Yes, yes.
Talking always deliver. I mean, action, drama, aplenty. We had it last year, and we've had it again this year, haven't we? Different track. Another great track, being British. I mean, I was once recently on a broadcast, someone said that Silverstone wasn't a very good track. I mean, it's British, of course it's got to be, but that was last year. This year, Alton Park. I was a little bit dubious, Sam. I'm not going to lie. I love this place. And it's home to my favourite story around the corner.
Course,
As we all know.
Come on, Tim, we've almost got to it. We don't need to say it.
No, we don't, Sam, because everyone's heard it so many times. But I thought it's going to be a bit narrow. Can we have as much drama? Is it going to be a bit of a, meh? No, you've done well.
No, it's been a really fun event. Thanks to, of course, Alex Simpson is a big hand in helping out the tournament, and of course Lee Thompson for doing the broadcasting and organising a lot of the events. It's been very fun, and of course thanks to Adam Smalley for being along the Porsche Cup car that we've had a display, and of course all the Apex Racing team for helping out with manning the rigs and doing some talks, and of course everyone for turning up for this event, because we've really been impressed by the amount of people who have attended. It's been absolutely packed. We can't really fit many more people, honestly, in the customer area after today. Yeah, it's been really good.
I'm sure next year we can give it a good go.
Yeah, cram a few more. They'll be like sardines, but it'll be all right. Aircon's good, so yeah, nothing to worry about.
That's all you need to worry about, really, isn't it? Well, I feel sad, but I think that is this time, isn't it? We're done. Another year, another set of drama, and it wasn't another winner. He did it again. The only person to have a 100% winning record at a LAN is Leo Garibaldi. Congratulations to him. I've been Tim Cox. He's been Sam Fitzpatrick, and this has been the 2023 Apex Racing Open Day. Thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations to our winners and prize recipients, and we'll see you again next year.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.